Welcome to Jim Perry Stadium. It's a dynamic matchup. 5 weeks to go in the conference season. Longwood and Campbell are number 1 and 2 in the Big South Conference standings. Something has to give this weekend at Jim Perry Stadium, and we're delighted to have you with us in the booth alongside a former 20 home run slugger and all Big South selection, Christian Jones. I'm Evan Budrovich. Starting pitching, though, the story tonight. Thomas Harrington, an All-American arm. Andrew Podajecki, second in the Big South in wins. How do these starting pitchers slow down offenses tonight?
I think they continue to do what they've done so far throughout the season. Thomas Harrington is going to fill up the zone early with that low 90 fastball and work the off speeds later in counts. And Podajecki, like we spoke with Coach earlier today, he's going to be a little less velo, work both sides of the plate, and control off speeds.
The one thing that's impressive about these starting pitchers, Christian, 14 combined wins, and we're 2 months into the year. A Longwood offense that's led by Michael Peterson, leads the Big South in steals, and Hunter Gillum, the home run leader in the conference. That's a dynamic top of the order.
That's definitely something that you want on the top of your lineup, being a base stealer ahead of that power hitter or that guy that's going to hit for extra base hits. Hunter Gillum's done a great job creating opportunities for Longwood, whether that be a way of walk or home run, and Jack's following up right behind him with some power numbers as well.
Now, it's one thing to score against Presbyterian and UNC Asheville. It's another to face the top 10 pitcher in ERA in the country, Thomas Harrington. 8 wins in 9 starts. What makes Thomas so unique?
The thing about Thomas is he's just so relaxed on the mound. It's like when he gets out there, he's in his zone. He's having a great time, and he's just filling up the zone with that fastball, like I mentioned, mixing in those off speeds and keeping those hitters off balance.
It's like watching Frank Sinatra or Michael Bublé, an artist going to work. And Harrington's gone 6 innings in every start this year, at least 6. How important is tonight's start, knowing with semester finals next week, he won't pitch next weekend in a critical matchup of 1 versus 2 in the Big South standings?
I think every conference game is very important, but like you mentioned with finals coming up, it's going to be very important for him to get in the zone, attack early, maintain that pitch count to get deep in this ballgame.
Well, you're in for a treat tonight. Harrington, the Big South leader in ERA, goes to work. And his first pitch is swung on a miss. Hayden Harris, the top of the order threat, who head coach Chad Oxendine said is the igniter of this offense. Double-digit steals, gets on over 35% of the time. When the sophomore reaches base, this offense is much more dynamic for Longwood. And a Lancer team, Christian, they came to play over the weekend. 15 runs on Sunday. And Coach Oxendine mentioned that was an important win because Longwood could ill afford to get swept at home against PC.
Coach Oxendine also mentioned how impressed he was after Friday and Saturday, kind of getting punched in the face a little bit, didn't know how they were going to react, and then come out to put 15 runs up on Sunday was very inspiring.
That ball nearly hits Hayden Harris. And no swing on the appeal to first. Jeff Francis works behind the plate today. What a challenge for this Longwood offense. Thomas Harrington, the strikeout leader not only in the conference, but top 5 in the country. 86 punch-outs for the third-year arm. Now he works ahead on 1 and 2. And this will be key for Longwood. Can they work the count against Harrington, not allow him to go 6 innings again?
I just think that speaks volume to Harrington. Having those strikeouts, those kind of numbers, leading the conference and the nation. It's super good stuff out there. See if he can maintain through it, but we're seeing here a good at-bat from the leadoff man in Harris.
This is nubbed foul up the third baseline. So Thomas Harrington, he's 4th in the country behind Parker Messick of Florida State, 86 strikeouts. One thing Longwood has done very well this year, limiting its strikeout numbers in half from one year to the next. It's a whole new philosophy on offense behind first-year head coach Chad Oxendine.
I think we're seeing that here with the first leadoff batter, Harris. Head coach also mentioned that they're just a bunch of grinders, and I think we're seeing that displayed here at the first batter.
Not a team with a big budget, a team that was picked 11th in the preseason, facing the 3-time reigning champions. There's a David and Goliath type feel to this matchup, and Harrington's had to work in this first at-bat.
And it looks like Harris is kind of playing with that chip on his shoulder, getting projected at last, being 2nd, 3rd in the conference right now with 4 weeks left to play. Should be very fun to watch these two teams compete.
So Harrington tries again, and he hits Hayden Harris. So that's Harrington. This is a rare note. Only his 5th hit by pitch of the year. and it's a leadoff man on.
Quality at bat there by Harris. Found 3 or 4 balls off and ended up getting hit by pitch.
One area that Harrington's been so good, the ERA, of course, but when you have a great defense behind him, and Justin Hare leans on his same starting 9, must be infectious when those two are working in rhythm.
Makes the pitcher kind of set in. Makes him very comfortable out there having Nedo and Arias out there as well as Belvin over there at third base.
Remember, Bryce Arnold, the freshman, he's out for 3 straight weeks. Has hit in batting practice in that stretch, battling a nagging hamstring and a quad injury. So the senior, Arias, goes in at second, and that dynamic between Nedo and Arias, that's worked out very well.
There's a lot of rhythm out there in the middle.
You played second base. What's that dynamic like? How do you build that chemistry?
As much as I would say it starts on the field, it starts off the field as well. You know, whether it be hanging out outside or in the library, whatever it is. You know, I think they both.
See, Christian, I didn't peg you as a library guy, but I do appreciate the note.
Had to throw that in there just in case Mom was listening.
Arias and Nedo are roommates here on campus. They've developed quite a camaraderie, 3 years together on the infield. And now a bunt by Michael Peterson. He is electric up the bases. Clocked at a sub-5 home to first time, which big leaguers have that expectation. But here at the college level, Peterson has excellent speed.
It's an effective feature to have in your lineup. I was never one of those fast guys. But for him to be up there, like we're seeing here, a little small ball here in the first, being able to handle the barrel, get it down. The thing about this is if he gets it down for a sacrifice, his speed is able to turn into a base hit just like that.
Hits it off the glove of Harrington, and on a weird deflection, he gets the out. Had the chance to be both a double play and a base hit.
Looks like Peterson just capped the ball there on the end of the bat. Was able to stay with it and get the out at first.
So there's the starting 9 for Campbell. Drake Pearson's become a very good first baseman defensively. That had been an issue for Justin here, finding a legit starter at first, and it just helps organize the infield.
And I think it starts with his bat. You know, they're looking for a guy to defend over there at first base, knock something down, and finish on the back end of plays, but also his at-bats have been very good.
So here's Hunter Gillum, the Big South leader in home runs, and he chops the first pitch. That's out of play. So we've clearly seen a Longwood club working on small ball situational hitting, and Gillum, who's a transfer and returned back to Farmville. He grew up 5 minutes from campus at the Fuqua School. It's a unique challenge, right? The homegrown kid who had struggled the last 2 years. Now his home run bat has come alive with 10 dingers.
It's the comeback tour. I mean, he's been doing great. Like Coach Oxidine said, you know, he's established some walks, got his feet firm in there in the middle of their lineup, and has been very successful thus far.
Chad Oxidine, the third base coach tonight, he noted that Gillum, he had a 3-walk game against Norfolk State this week. He was more excited about the 3-walk game than any home run he hit all year. That's a big development for a middle-of-the-lineup hitter.
And that speaks volume to the coaching staff. You know, you come in, new program, new atmosphere, not knowing what you're going to get, and for guys to have those small wins like that is a big deal.
And Oxendine, he's the first-year head coach here at Longwood, so you inherit a brand-new program. A former assistant at Coastal Carolina moves up a couple of states in the cross and inherits the Big South leader in home runs, Hunter Gillum. That'll be a neat race. Drake Pearson is second in the league with 9 home runs. That's back and forth with a month to play. And Harrington adds to his strikeout totals. 87 Ks for the Big South leader in punch-outs.
Phenomenal pitch there. 1-2 count going off speed out the zone because you don't want to miss with a guy here. And in Gillum down the middle. So it looks like he just stands outside the zone trying to get him to chase as he did there and apply the tag.
MLB.com released its early draft projections, right? The MLB draft is in July. Harrington was rated a late first-round pick, and you see with a slider like that, it's multiple pitches that are at high level.
We saw the stats at the beginning of the game, 8-1 coming into this game with still plenty of time to play. I think he's, creating a great profile for himself.
That's the challenge, right? Because these numbers against Ohio State, Maryland, Presbyterian, there's different tiers of wins, right? and how much of a factor as a draft prospect as Jack Schnell checks in is his ability to pitch against anybody and everybody versus doing well against the best teams in the country.
We've been talking the whole time about numbers, but also like his mentality on the mound. You know, right there attacking the guy early with a fastball if he wants a fastball, or maybe giving up a home run or giving up a hit, getting back on there, getting right back in the zone. So it's just that consistency with Harrington that I think's drawing a lot of attention to him in those mock drafts and two other coaches in the big leagues.
Think about this, 16 pitches for Harrington, and it's been a tumultuous first inning. Runner in scoring position now for Jack Schnell, the New York product. And a 3-0 count. What's been the issue for Harrington? He hasn't looked as locked in here early.
Fastball looks good, but he looks like he's having a little trouble maybe gripping the off speed. Usually it's always there for him so far this year, but let's see for him to get back in the zone 3-0 and try to get his ender.
So now needing a get-me-over pitch. He misses the zone, and that's a walk and a hit batter to start this game.
Again, here in the first with a power bat like Jack up, not a bad thing. Got a base open with 2 outs to get a force bag set up.
Longwood coach Chad Oxendine said his team must be scrappy. They must fight all game. And clearly in this first inning, that mentality has paid off.
And I think that fight starts with just applying pressure to the pitcher. You know, we saw Harris come in the first at bat, maybe a 7-pitch at bat, and then get hit by a pitch. I think it starts there with just the quality of bats, applying pressure to the pitcher and the defense, which I'm sure they'll do here throughout the game.
Longwood has scored in the first inning in 23 games. That's half of the games this year for the Lancers. So here's a chance for Greg Ryan, the VCU transfer. Grew up an hour outside of Longwood, just outside the Richmond area in North Chesterfield. He started his career at Pitt, went to VCU, and now here at Longwood's having a breakout year defensively. And Coach Oxendine was singing his praises as a shortstop, leading this team on the field as he pokes one foul.
Coach Oxendine mentioned that him coming in is seeing him at short. He's going to be an everyday shortstop with some power. Also said he's a leader on their squad as well.
That's the unique challenge of inheriting a team that was picked 11th out of 11 in the preseason poll. Very low expectations. And yet, Longwood at 8-4 in the conference, they're playing as well as any team outside of Campbell right now, which is 4 conference weekends to play. Harrington gets his weak contact, and after a couple of walks and hit batters, he gets out of the first pretty smoothly. Campbell's offense hits when we return.
In sports,
we are used to an even playing field.
Unfortunately,
off the field,
court,
track,
Closed.
not all people are treated fairly.
In the Big South Conference,
we commit to using our voices
to oppose injustices and inequalities.
Join us as we champion change
towards ensuring even playing fields
in and out of sports.
the Big South Conference.
We're allies.
We're advocates.
Where winners are made.
There's not a secret to what actually happens behind the scenes at a bank. Here at First Citizens, we're trying to educate the client in each step of what's actually going to happen and actually have them make the educated decision around what steps and what options they utilize. We want to become that trusted advisor that actually guides them down that road, helping you reach your goals. That's Forever First.
Whether you're a contractor or do-it-yourselfer, Sunbelt Rentals is committed to making it easy to get the tools and equipment you need. With a vast network of locations across the U.S. and Canada, no one brings more yes to your project. Our broad inventory and dedicated team of experts makes equipment rental absolutely available, positively reliable, and unquestionably easy. Visit sunbeltrentals.com to reserve your equipment or find a location near you.
No offense has been more prolific in the month of April than Campbell's. A 350 clip in the second to last month, led by the All-American and Zach Nedo right in the middle.
Pretty dynamic offense, starting off with Belbin, a lefty at the top, and then going down through the lineup. They've been very effective, had situational hitting and continue to apply pressure to the pitcher and the defense.
Campbell lost its first game in 13 tries on Tuesday. But in that stretch, Kristen, they've been hitting .360 as an offense. So what a challenge for Andrew Podojecki. He's gone 6 innings in every start this year. How does the right-hander work deep into the game tonight?
Very excited to watch Podojecki come out today. It's going to be a very challenging game for him in the Campbell lineup like we just mentioned. But he'll work that fastball, slurve, and changeup. But that fastball is not just any normal fastball. It's going to be mid-80s and have some arm side run on it.
That sink and run from a right-hander is a unique challenge for an offense. I'd be curious how these Campbell bats respond. They struggled on Tuesday at North Carolina, only scoring 4 runs in a rare loss here in the month of April. Here's Jared Belbin from Australia, 35th start of the year. And he's all after that fastball.
Looks like Podojecki's going to come out today and try to attack with that little sinker, that arm side fastball we've seen there first 2 pitches. Looks like he's not going to hold back, try to keep that pitch count low.
Podojecki is a strike thrower. I tell you what, he's worked 6 innings in every start. That is a unique aspect. And it's not electric stuff, right? 85 to 87, and yet he's kept hitters off balance most of the year.
Nowadays in the game, you always see power arms and power bats, but when it comes to a fastball guy like Podojecki that can move the ball anywhere on the plate or around the plate, it makes it very challenging for hitters to get settled in.
Podojecki, to his credit, not only the 6 wins in conference, but he struggled in his last start, what Coach Oxendine said his worst start of the year. 7 runs allowed, and yet he has looked very confident against the Campbell offense that is top 10 in the country in scoring as Belvin works out a leadoff walk.
I think mostly mentally for a pitcher it could be challenging coming off a bad start. Obviously nobody wants to have him, but in the game it happens. I think for him to come out, he's going to have to attack the zone early and not allow any of these free bases like we see there in the leadoff spot.
So Lawson Harrell earns his 3rd straight start. Harrell was great on Tuesday. RBI double. He also scored a run at North Carolina. That was a game where Campbell left 14 men on the bases. A lot of chances. It's a unique challenge of a schedule that features a top 50 RPI for Campbell and then a conference play that's just a different caliber and tier of teams, so how you interlace back and forth is really unique.
Big South's not necessarily a powerhouse, but it's just a bunch of effective grinders, battlers that any game, when you come out, it's baseball. Anything can happen. But with these clubs, you never know what you're going to get on any certain day.
Which makes Harrell's impact all the more important. Lawson was hidden amongst the stars in this 12 of 13 game stretch. He hit .290 with 3 triples in the last 13 games. Podojecki goes to his fastball, and that's sprayed to right. There's Chorb over there to make the catch. And we'll note it today, Christian, but Longwood's defense, they've improved 30% in fielding in 1 year. Top 10 in the country in double plays. This is a really good defense this year.
Defense wins championships, and I know it's comfortable for a pitcher to have somebody like that behind you. Obviously, you want him to field everything. That's not going to happen every time, but to have a solid defense behind you, I'm sure it builds a little more confidence on the shoulder.
You better have confidence when Zach Nedo digs in, because he's been hitting everything well. Batting average up to .364 and leads the Big South in slugging percentage. Runner breaks for second, and Belbin takes advantage. That'll be the challenge for Kowalski tonight. A pitcher with movement and cut. How does he keep the ball in front?
Makes it very challenging for any catcher. Obviously, you know what pitch is coming, but for that sink to maybe sink a little more, that slurve to maybe slide a little more, he's going to have to do a good job of trying to get around on this turf because it can take any kind of bounce.
Nedo with 10 doubles leads this offense, and the outfield's playing really deep against the surefire All-American and All-Conference selection. Watches ball 2. Wow, tight zone from Jeff Francis early.
Podojecki still seems like he's pretty relaxed up there outside of giving up the leadoff walk and a barrel to right field there. But Definitely look a little tight zone there, but he's going to need to remember that he's got an open base with Zach Nedo up, try to force that, get that double play in order.
Is that the plan here, even in the first inning, to pitch around Nedo?
I don't think it's necessarily the exact plan, but you know, you can work around a zone like that. You know, he goes slider away, fastball down. You don't want to give him anything, but you know, if he does reach out there, it'll only you know, benefit you.
Zach Neto's only played 28 games. He's missed 8 this year. He leads the team in walks by like a 6-walk margin. Such a patient hitter.
It's one of the 5 tools about him. He's got a great eye, he's disciplined, and he's very patient in the box.
And then he gets the green light and smokes one out of play. Now that's the part that makes MLB scouts project him as a top 30, top 40 pick. It's that power combined with the vision.
It's coming from the third base box and, you know, head coach Justin Hare giving him that right, but I think he's done more than anybody to earn it. So there we see a 3-0 swing. You know, that's his guy, and he trusts him.
I'm good with an All-American swinging the bat, especially in this first inning. The top 2 teams in the Big South meet here tonight. Ooh, Belbin nearly gets picked off. It's a nice move by Podajecki.
From both sides, we're going to see them jumping out there on the base paths, trying to get any opportunity they can to go. Great job by Podajecki doing an inside move there.
The inside spin move nearly had Campbell off. Camels have stolen 62 bags. Longwood's poached 66 steals, so 2 of the top teams in the Big South in stealing. Nedo needs no base threat as he rips one out of play. You note the head nod, a little bit of that self-confidence coming through Nedo. You don't see that from every hitter, but he certainly brings the swagger in the box.
Nedo appears that he saw it out of the hand well. He saw it early, but like we mentioned about Podajecki, he's got that sinker that runs in. So if you see it early, you still got to get the barrel out in front to get solid contact.
Christian, you hit 20 home runs in your senior season. Nedo has that type of power, and maybe he just missed his treat. So on the payoff pitch, he rolls it to short, and the throw goes back to second. Great play by Ryan. Here's the rundown as Belbin's tagged out by the third baseman, Wilkinson, and another smart defensive play.
Great play there by Ryan on that backhand. Obviously, maybe not having a throw over to first with a plus runner like Nedo, but also there on the base pass by Belbin, you got to see that ground ball in front of you and understand you got to get back to the bag. As we see here, ground ball in front of him, he's got to retreat. He gets hung out there, and great job decision-making throwing to second.
Greg Ryan, the VCU transfer, makes a heck of a play. And Belbin, he didn't fully commit to third either. That's just a great read. More importantly, it's a big second out for Podajecki. A Longwood team that led the Big South in errors last year, 88 errors. It's now become a strength of the Lancers. They're third in the Big South in fielding.
Big learning curve coming in. You know, head coach Oxidine said, you know, coming in, we got some things to change, whether that be running on and off the field, fielding the ground ball, or just being disciplined.
Jordan pokes a base hit past Wilkinson. And look at Nedo sprinting for third, testing the arm and left, and he's in there safely. My gosh, add a tool to Zach Neto's tool case.
Great swing there by Jordan on a breaking ball, able to stay back and drive it just outside the outreached glove over there at third base.
But how about the read by Nedo? That's a ground ball that he turns first to third.
Man, he's a plus runner, and I think off the bat he knew he was going to get around that bag, continue on, and slid in safe.
We noted Longwood's improvement defensively. That's a big test for Peterson in left. Not a plus arm out there, and Nedo tested.
Most certainly did. I think he saw him playing deep from the start with a power guy at the plate in Jordan, and Nedo was able to scramble around.
So Connor Denning, this has been his strength, hitting .360 with men in scoring position. His left-right splits, 50 points better from this left side of the plate, which makes that huge out by Ryan a moment ago. That could have been a run in, maybe a couple more in this first inning. Matchup of the top 2 scoring teams in the Big South.
It appears the crowd didn't like that pitch, but I think Podajecki will take that any day of the week.
This Longwood coaching staff has challenged its team, led by Brad Micey, the pitching coach, throw more strikes. Longwood was horrendous with high walk totals last year, averaged 6 walks a game. And that new emphasis has been huge for this pitching staff.
In baseball, that's one thing that you can't control. You can't defend, you can't do anything about is walks. If the pitcher doesn't get in the zone and fill the zone up early, his team has no control of that. So obviously that's a very important factor to come in and say, hey, we're going to fill the zone up and get ahead early and let our defense work.
Denning works ahead 3-1. And coming up next is Drake Pearson, who's hit 6 home runs in April. So there's no easy out in this Campbell lineup.
Drake Pearson is very comfortable in the box right now. He's feeling his swing. He loves where he's at. Definitely want to try to continue here, even with a 3-1 count, to get back in the zone to try to eliminate getting him to the plate.
Connor Denning had his 13-game hit streak, ended on Tuesday. He went 0 for 4. Now he adds an on-base streak to that total. So the bases are loaded here in this first inning. And we noted Longwood being a scrappy lineup, right? Working Harrington, making the pitch count rise. Well, here's Andrew Podajecki at 20 pitches and still with the bases loaded.
Evan, like we mentioned at the beginning of the game, pitch count's going to be a big factor, and both pitchers being able to go 6 innings plus, which they have in their most recent starts. It starts here in inning 1. We're at 20 pitches with 2 outs, but it can get very effective to try to get the Campbell offense to get the Longwood pin.
Pearson goes right after the first pitch, and he has been maybe the toughest out in the country here as of late. 23 straight games reaching base for Pearson. It all started with a walk-off home run against Air Force on the first day of March, and he's been red hot since.
I look for him to continue his success here. Podajecki going high pitch count, not really feeling his fastball or slider here.
There's a great slider.
Great swing and a miss there. It looks like he just worked the outside part of the plate. But I was seeing him try to attack Pearson in, maybe try to get a little jam shot here.
Drake Pearson's bat. He's hit 600 with the bases loaded. 3 for 5, maybe none better in this Campbell lineup.
Perfect person, perfect spot.
Just the way Justin Hare drew it up in this first inning. And Podajecki has other intentions. The strikeout strands the bases juiced, and we go to break in a scoreless ball game. Friday night living up to the billing here tonight. Well, we told you these two clubs are right at the top of the Big South. Longwood off to its best start in conference program history, and the Camels just haven't lost in conference play in the last month. 2 red-hot teams coming in.
Both bats are very hot. Pitchers are filling up the zones. we've seen an interesting first inning on both sides, both getting runners in scoring position and nothing coming up of it.
Christian Longwood, the team picked 11th in the preseason. How have they exceeded expectations but played like a team that can compete with anybody in the league?
I think it starts from the coaching staff. You know, the coaching staff comes out, has a plan, and the players follow. You know, whether it be hustling around or being disciplined, I think they all balled in and they're doing a great job.
Longwood has won series over Asheville, Presbyterian. Now, the bulk of the Longwood schedule comes up here soon. Campbell this weekend, Upstate, and then Radford. So 3 teams in the upper half of the league. That's what makes this a breakout weekend for the Lancers. If they could do any damage the next 2 weeks, you got to take this team seriously.
Coming to the end of the Big South, obviously, is going to be very important for them. However, like you mentioned, top kind of group there in Radford and Upstate. It's going to be a challenging start for their pitchers and their hitters. You know, I look for them to come out and just continue to grind.
Here's Draven Kowalski, the New Jersey product, lone New Jersey player on this Longwood roster. And with a beard that could stand out for miles away, he takes a strike. First start behind the plate in 10 games for Kowalski. I'm just enamored with that beard. My goodness.
I wonder how long it took him to grow that or if he's had it for a while.
Looks even more deadly to Harrington, who works on the mound. Wanting his second strikeout as that's fouled away. I thought March was more the mustache madness. I guess April was the beard awareness month. I must have missed it.
For all we know, he could have shaved for the March Madness, mustache only.
And it grew back in a month and a half.
Hey.
So Harrington up ahead 0-2. This is weak contact to Jared Belbin at third. And 2 quick outs.
Harrington very effective there, going fastball, and then establishing that changeup blowing in to get a early swing.
So we told you coming in, Thomas Harrington is a special pitcher. Well, the graphic tells the story, right? First in the country in wins, top 10 in ERA and strikeouts. What makes the sophomore right-hander so special?
I think the fastball there in mid-90s and also having 2 good off-speed pitches. You know, a lot of times with starters, you see guys that have 3 or 4 pitches that are very effective, and that is exactly what Harrington is. He's got 3-pitch mix that's plus, and allows him to keep the hitters off their toes.
Harrington has not only won 8 games, he's won 8 straight starts. His lone loss was here against top 25 Maryland, where he allowed 1 run in 8 innings. So even his loss was an excellent start.
And I think we'll continue to see that throughout the progress of this schedule. You know, I think it's the defense and the hitters obviously are going to provide runs.
I mean, top 10 in the country in whip. That's incredible. And then the strikeouts are up there, too.
He's had a phenomenal year so far, and it's about halfway through, and he's still got plenty to go.
So Harrington with those 8 wins, he leads the country. Last year, Kumar Rocker, first-round pick, he led the country with 14 victories. If Harrington pitched the next 6 games, which could happen in regionals, he'd have a chance to reach 14. Is that possible?
I think that is a possibility. With the stuff that he's been showing us the past 8 or so games, his command's there, his fastball's there, and the other 2 pitches are there. I don't see why not.
Harrington's been on a bit of an innings limit here in his last 2 starts, just 5 innings. Nonetheless, the stuff has been there. He's allowed a season high of 4 runs, only 2 earned. It's Nolan Ryan-type numbers for Harrington, and here he is in year 2 as a full-time starter.
And this is a very big start for him, too, going into finals week. Like you mentioned earlier, you know, it'll be effective to see how he comes off that after that finals weekend, getting back going, kind of getting back reamped going.
Campbell has 2 midweek games next week, so no weekend series, which makes you wonder how long the leash is for Harrington, who just touched 95 on that last pitch. He digs in now for pitch 29. And more weak contact. And Arias ends the inning. Boy, Harrington looking unfazed in the second. 1-2-3 with a breeze here at Jim Perry Stadium.
It's bow time. The workday might be ending, but your family's hunger is still gearing up for the night shift. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. Or you could just drop a big bow box on it. Because when you can feed the family with 12 Supremes, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can clock out and still spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner. It's bow time.
Whether you're a contractor or do-it-yourselfer, Sunbelt Rentals is committed to making it easy to get the tools and equipment you need. With a vast network of locations across the U.S. and Canada, no one brings more yes to your project. Our broad inventory and dedicated team of experts makes equipment rental absolutely available, positively reliable, and unquestionably easy. Visit sunbeltrentals.com to reserve your equipment or find a location near you.
We are not merely an institution of higher education. We are transforming lives and empowering students to become leaders.
Leaders in our communities,
in our state, and throughout the world.
Leaders in innovation.
Leaders in service to our neighbors.
Join our movement. Join our community. Join our mission. Lead with purpose. Lead with Campbell.
So Ty Babin and this Campbell offense, we noted the two earlier, of course, right? Nedo and Pearson, top 10 in the conference in slugging and RBI. How has the rest of this offense played off what these two have done so far?
I think being a team player and being on the same side, I think you see those guys at the top of the lineup and you just want to follow behind. You don't want to go out and try to force pressure or force things to happen, but when you see those guys being successful, you want to kind of join the party.
Ty Babin has reinvented his power swing. In fact, 5 home runs in the month of April. This was a hitter who had 1 career home run entering the month. I mean, have you ever seen a player gone through that type of transformation?
And that home run being in the Mississippi State Regional backside. So it's not like it was a poolside home run that just snuck out. It was a backside drive. But he's done a great job. I think, it starts with Matt Rodriguez, the strength coach, getting in the weight room, keeping him healthy. He's done a great job. I think they switch out a little bit behind the plate, but when he does get in to get that opportunity, getting the barrel out in front, creates some width.
And his last 5 games, he's hitting .450, including a hard hit into the shift. Nice snag by Harris. That's great positioning for the Lancers. Because otherwise, that's a base hit, and clearly he's hitting the ball well in the last month of the year.
Longwood had a plan going in there with the shift, had the second baseman a little deep. Great job by Podajecki getting that fastball inside so that he'll hit into the shift, because that's a big thing too. A lot of people don't think about. When you do play that shift, you got to kind of pitch into it. If you leave one out over the plate, that's an easy double, easy maybe triple, depending.
And that's not a traditional shift either. It's the second baseman, Harris, playing deep, and no one else was on that right side. It was sort of him by himself. As Arias hits into the shift the other way, and 2 quick outs. Because to your point, there's something about pitching to the way your defense is playing. That's how you help your defense, and Podajecki's been doing it.
He has. Like we mentioned, he's going to work both sides of the plate, and he's doing a great job, as we saw a little rollover ground ball and a little harder hit ground ball there to the right side, but still hitting his spots and controlling the counts.
And he faces an offense that's been hitting the crap out of the ball. .352 average in this month. 40 home runs in 12 conference games. Those are hard to fathom in the first 4 series. There's a base hit for Halstead to extend the inning.
Outside of our top players, Nedo and Pearson, I think this is a guy that's overlooked as well. Halstead, he's had some great quality at bats and really showing some life.
Christian, since the start of April, he's hitting .550. What's been clicking for Halstead? How does he turn into an elite hitter?
I think he continues to do what he's doing. I don't think he needs to go out and try to do too much or say, hey, I want to get some more power numbers on the board. I think he just sticks with that same approach that it's been clearly working for him and continue to find barrels.
He's found plenty of barrels. 16 hits in 8 starts. That's a lot of productivity in the 9 spot. Now back to the top of this order, and Jared Belbin and company left the bases loaded the first time up. The numbers for Belbin not overwhelming, and yet he leads the team in RBIs. It's a quiet productivity.
Him being a lefty hitter is also a plus at the top of your lineup, but he's just a challenging out. He makes loud contact. Sees a lot of pitches. That's what you want out of a leadoff guy.
He has made life tough for opposing pitchers all year long, including 6 runs batted in the A&T series, his last conference slate. Oh, good pick move. Halstead just gets back in time. When you have 2 teams that love to run, I imagine they also practice pickoffs and defense so much that it makes it even harder to steal.
They most certainly do, and I think they practice it so much to where it becomes just routine. You know, he's going to get his lead over there, try to get a little small jump, and the pitcher's still calm and relaxed and ready to go when he needs to.
We think back to the Major League game where the pitch clock with runners on is now 20 seconds. In the college game, there's no time limit, at least in the Big South Conference. So these pitchers can manipulate and try to slow down the running game all they want.
And I get from a certain aspect of speeding the game up, getting to flow a little more, keep the fans involved. You know, but at the end of the day, you're out there to do your job, whether that take you 20 seconds or 24 seconds. You know, you got to make sure you got that good grip, toe the rubber good, and you're ready to attack with your best stuff.
And he faces a Campbell offense that's been killing Big South teams, averaging 12 runs a game in conference play. Just insane numbers as Belbin works the count full. Because here we are in a relatively scoreless, low-scoring game, and yet Belbin's already hitting around the order. I mean, in 2 innings, there's been plenty of pressure despite no runs.
Little surprising from Podajecki. You know, he had a couple walks in the first inning, which was able to flip the lineup over here in the second for the Campbells. But, you know, here with 2 outs, I look for him to try to establish the zone. I think he's kind of settling a little bit.
And the 3-2 is fouled away. That was a mammoth hack for Belbin. I love that approach on 3-2.
Head coach Justin Hare, they established a 2-strike approach where you kind of eliminate.
If that's his 2-strike approach, what's his 1-strike approach?
Hey, that's a 2-strike approach. Even though he had a big swing there, he was able to get that foot down early. Kind of eliminate
so you're committing
the
to a pitch early.
Right.
Okay. Because I was going to say that swing was, he wanted to make it 2-0 with 1 swing. Now he drives one to the gap. Oh, my goodness, this ball drops down for a base hit. Here comes Halstead around third, and he's looking to score. That throw gets way out of the park, and the Campbells strike with a 2-out double.
Great piece of hitting there by Belbin, getting a fastball over the plate, driving out to right field. That's where we're talking about defense right there, Evan. We talk about defense in the aspect of you got the right fielder diving. Center fielder did a great job coming behind to back it up. As you see him kind of extend here, that's an okay play because you got the center fielder behind you. But on this throw in, misses his cutoff man, kind of pulls it towards the first base line. Easy advancement there for Halstead at third.
So the lazy 2-out single turns into a run in the blink of an eye. That's what makes this Campbell offense dangerous. And with the speed of Halstead, Justin Hare had no qualms about sending his 9-hole hitter to the plate. Andrew Podajecki in his last outing, 7 runs in 7 innings. And that's what Chad Oxendine loves about Podajecki. It can be great, it can be bad. He'll compete and give you a long outing.
Yeah, he mentioned a lot about Podajecki in our interview with him. You know, he spoke on the person that he is, his ability, but also able to handle pressure and handle adversity a little bit to where he's not one of the guys like a roller coaster guy. He's in a flat line, stay the same the whole way, and continue to give you his best stuff.
He said the difference is he can pitch. He's an absolute grinder. And that's going to be the case against this offense that has scored against everyone in the Big South. 13 runs a game in the conference. That's no easy task for a starting pitcher. And after 2 glances, it's a 3-0 count to Lawson Harrell.
Podajecki seems like he was kind of getting a rhythm there early in the second. Looks like he has maybe lost it, but again, pitch count's going to be a big factor for him if he wants to try to get 6 innings out of this.
It all started with a 2-out single by Halstead. And a Campbell offense that's now scored 26 runs in the second inning has a chance for more as Harrell flies one to shallow right. Harris moving back. And there's the right fielder, Chorba, to make the catch. Not before a 2-out RBI double makes it 1-0 through 2. So Longwood brings 9-1-2 to the order here in the third inning. And Thomas Harrington's been tough to score on from anybody in the country. He's given up 2 runs just 3 times all year. How does Longwood manufacture offense here in the third?
I think it starts with getting that pitch count up from Harrington. In the first inning, we saw the leadoff batter go 6 or 7 pitches, finish with a hit by pitch. At bats like that, quality at bats, see a lot of pitches from him and make him establish the zone, I think is where they're going to have to start.
So Michael Dolberry looks to do his part at the plate. The number 8 draft prospect in the Big South, entering the year, big-time potential, and he goes after the 1-0. Jordan lost it, then found it, and finally makes the catch. Those can be tough on a bright night like this.
Great job by Harrington getting that fastball inside. But, yeah, like you mentioned out there in left field, you saw him kind of miss it, find it, and it's going to be very challenging with that sun creeping down over the first base dugout. They're going to have to stick with the ball the whole time and communicate.
Hayden Harris, the igniter of this offense. And, again, batting average not prolific, but he gets on base 42% of the time, which is huge for Longwood.
Early swing and a miss there. He's a guy, like we mentioned, time and time again, they are grinders. They're going to go up there, have quality at bats, see a lot of pitches, and I think it starts with him. Having him at the top of your lineup, head coach Oxendine mentioned earlier, whenever he gets on base, they feel like he's going to score for sure every single time.
And to that point, so Harris has started the last 2 years at second base. 32 runs in 37 games. So when he gets on, it's an instant run for this offense. Also rocking some neck cleavage there. That chin strap starting to grow in. Have to mature quickly against the 20-year-old Thomas Harrington, who works in strike 2. Christian, he's only 20. He'll turn 21 5 days before the MLB draft this July. That's an electric combination of youth and arm strength.
That is an electric young man, and he's doing a great job maintaining the pitches, pitch speed, and kind of the mentality thing. And mentality is the big part, you know, being able to control what you can control and kind of letting the game play on.
Oh, he's done 8-1 record. And now with 88 strikeouts in, 60 innings? I mean, that's a great strikeout to walk ratio.
Definitely seeing that being challenging. I don't think I could ever do anything like that, but he's making it look pretty easy out there.
Yeah, what's the challenge as a hitter when you face Harrington? Because clearly the stuff is good, not just fastball, but it's all over the place.
Yeah, when you see a guy come in, as you know, you're looking at reading the charts and you're saying, 60 innings, 80-plus strikeouts, you're like, wow, like this guy's stuff's good. It's not, it can be overpowering, but that 95 to, let's just say, 82 mile-an-hour breaking ball is going to be very challenging to stay on your toes.
And there's the fastball. Nice snag by Nedo, who spikes one into the turf. I love the idea, and it results in an infield single.
Nedo making another good diving play there in the hole, not able to get him. But with this turf, a lot of times the guys will, in the infield, will use that skip throw as opposed to trying to get in the air. It might go a little faster, might shoot off, especially when it's wet.
Is that an easier throw on turf or on grass, trying to skip it?
When it's dry, I would say grass. If it's dry, grass. If it's wet, turf. You kind of see how it kind of bounced up and then 3 or 4 hop there to first.
Because he had the idea right, but it literally just went straight into the ground and nothing happened.
Nedo does have an arm, so I think he was trying to get that maybe a little more elevated, but better miss down than miss up, you know.
So results in an infield single. And here's the Big South stolen base leader, the elusive Michael Peterson. 20 steals. When he gets on, it's trouble for opposing teams. Now Texas Southern leads the country, 147 stolen bases. But Peterson, how about this? A 4-game hit streak. When he gets on, Christian, he's scoring runs. 5 runs scored for the elite second-hole hitter.
Having the speed that Peterson has, when you do get on, it's basically 2 or 3 pitches and you're at third. So, it makes it pretty easy for your offense and Gillum and Jack being behind him to score runs.
Oh, here's a line drive. Could be trouble for Logan Jordan. Boy, he is having quite an adventure with the wind and the sun. He finally makes the catch.
Routine fly ball, but a very, very challenging play with the sun in your eye. Off the bat, look, he capped it a little bit, so it was shallow. Great job hustling in and making that catch.
Thomas Harrington, he's a quick worker, man. He is not waiting for his pitching coach. He wants to throw it. It's kind of unique, right? Because most of the time, the pitcher coach goes to the signs, the semblance, checking the wristband. Harrington, he doesn't want to mess around with that. He just wants to throw strikes.
As a pitcher, once you get in that momentum, you don't want to break that momentum. It's a little slower nowadays with the cards and the signs, having to wait and everybody get it at the same time. But he wants to get it back on the rubber and try to attack the hitter.
And Robinson would counter the pitching coach. Well, when you have a hitter with 10 home runs and 30 runs batted in, you have to be precise and can't make a mistake.
And having that kind of thought process, Gillum's going to obviously probably not see, even though Harrington has a 94-mile fastball, he's going to see a little bit more off-speed than other hitters in his lineup.
And he dots up 94 on the corner for strike 2. And you can tell it's a wet, sticky night, a little humid, low 80s temperature. And Harrington, who grew up 30 miles in Sanford, North Carolina, here from Buies Creek, he looks locked in on the Friday night spotlight. Now he works to the home run leader in the Big South on 0-2. And he gets the strikeout. Quick work of Gillum, and that's Harrington's second K to end the top of the third.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive.
Babe, it's 8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
It's bow time. The workday might be ending, but your family's hunger is still gearing up for the night shift. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. Or you could just drop a big bow box on it. Because when you can feed the family with 12 Supremes, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can clock out and still spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner. It's bow time.
Big things are happening this year across the South, from the mountains to the coast. The fast are getting faster. The strong are getting stronger. And the best is getting better. Get ready to raise your expectations. Get ready for something big. Ingalls, a proud sponsor of Big South Sports.
Well, here's the price of admission right here watching the All-American Zach Nedo, a club that's hit 40 home runs in conference play. Maybe none better than Nedo, who leads the league in slugging and batting average. It's an offense that has a lot of depth, but is led by that man right there.
Nedo is very fun to watch. Like you said, the price of admission. He's very talented in the field and in the box. His patience in the box is like no other, like you said earlier. Leads Campbell in walks. And a lot of times, obviously the pitchers don't want to throw to him either sometimes.
That's the challenge, right? Because Nedo has earned more walks than any hitter in this order. And he chases the changeup there from Podojecki, who sort of knows how anxious Nedo wants to be, right? The power numbers are down from last year. The RBIs are down. Pitchers have worked so well against him, it makes him almost extend or overwork himself.
I think a little bit of it does, but also, like we mentioned, he came off an injury. He missed a week or two, so he had to kind of get back in that groove. Missing those few games, who knows what the power numbers would have looked like if he would have stayed in. Could have been the same, could have been different. But look for him to get that groove going back into conference.
Suffered an ankle injury at the end of March, early April, so he missed 2 conference series. And when Nedo was out, the team went 6-0. They averaged 10 runs, so clearly they figured things out without him. Now they get him back in the heart of the lineup. The leader in slugging in the conference versus number 2 ranked Wynn in Andrew Podojecki. 6 victories in Big South play. He's been a steady Eddie on the mound. And now works the count full.
Great pitch by Podojecki. Like we mentioned, having that slider that's going to run in and That's exactly what it did there. Great job by Nedo leaving it. Like we mentioned earlier, a two-strike approach. Here we see Nedo, a strong young guy, kind of got that big leg kick early in the counts, but you'll see here with 2 strikes, kind of separates a little bit. It's going to be a small toe tap.
And the 3-2 is lined in the center for a base hit. Nedo wants 2 here. He has electric speed. And a double for Zach Nedo.
Hard hit ball there by Nedo. Looks like he went fastball in that full count. Was able to keep his hands inside. Drive it just past the shortstop's outstretched glove. Looks like he almost had it right here. Looks like kind of went over his glove maybe, but like we mentioned with Longwood, hustling out the box, being able to make that turn at first and get 2.
Now the celebration time. Oh, we just missed it, but he's been dancing over there at second. We've seen Nedo twice tonight really push the bases from first to third. And is that any bit to show off to scouts the speed, or is that just part of his game?
As much as I want to say it's part to kind of show off, kind of show them what he can do, it's just part of his game. You know, he's a natural athlete. He can run, he can field, he can hit, he can do it all, and I think it's just playing to his side now.
Now it's up to the rest of this offense to cash him in as Logan Jordan hits. He had a single last time up. Certainly helps when an offense has 5 hitters with 20 or more runs batted in. Still 5 weeks to play. A lot of elite offenses in college baseball, usually 30 RBI is a sign of a good run producer. Nedo thought about third, and Jordan takes strike 1. Yet if you project out 4 to 5 more weeks of regular season, Campbell could have 5 hitters with 35 runs batted in. That's an elite lineup up and down.
I'll take that in my lineup any day of the week, and I don't think we kind of understand how big that actually is. Like to have 5 guys out of the 9 guys in your lineup to be able to drive in runs like that or even have quality at bats, that's very impressive from the Campbell's offense.
Chorba gave that a run but could not catch the foul ball. And you combine that with the fact Campbell's won 12 of their last 13. They've averaged 13 runs a game in that stretch. I mean, it's not a fluke, right? When you get that hot, you win 12 in a row, you move to 11-1 in the league. There's for a reason.
And in that 13-game stretch, I know they hit a few home runs. I don't think it would be crazy power numbers, but just the situational hitting, having quality at bats, taking walks, hit by pitches, and then having situational hitting has been very successful for them.
To your point, 41 home runs in that 12-game stretch. Nedo is egging on Podojecki, and the breaking ball stays outside. That's what makes Podojecki's life so difficult. 50 pitches now in the 3rd inning. He's done a nice job of limiting damage, and yet it's been a grind to get through 2 innings.
He is at a really high pitch count here in the bottom of the 3rd, but it's only a 1-run ball game, and I still kind of feel like he's got some rhythm, but he's in and out of it here early.
Jordan smokes the 2-2 pitch. That is out of here. See ya. Logan Jordan with his 7th home run of the year and a no-doubter in the 3rd inning.
Hitters count, 2-0 fastball, got it right down the middle and did not miss it. Drove that one, and off the bat you could see it. He just knew it was gone.
He also pimped the home run, which made it pretty exciting.
Good barrel. You know your yard better than anybody else, and right off the bat you can see it there. He just knew that ball was gone and took his time there out of the box.
Christian, you poked 20 home runs in your senior season. What's that feeling like when you know you absolutely uncorked one?
It's a great feeling, man. You know, whenever you get it off the barrel, you know you really got it. Depending on where you're at in the situation, you can still kind of give your little swag there out of the box.
We talked about the home run numbers. That has to make Justin Hare a happy camper. His offense now with 62 home runs, 60 doubles, and 60 home runs. That's a unique combination.
That is a very unique combination in the fact that usually you'll either see a team have high home runs, low doubles, or vice versa. And to have both of them, obviously, that just speaks to their run. 13 runs a game, averaging 13 runs a game in the Big South Conference that's where it comes from right there, doubles and home runs.
Sort of models what Coastal Carolina's offense did in 2016 when the Chanticleers won the College World Series. And Chad Oxendine, who both coached and played at Coastal, he wants to bring that mentality to Longwood. He sees a lot of that resemblance in Campbell's offense here tonight. Now getting to Omaha is a whole different story, but yet the dynamics of big home run numbers, big double numbers, swing for the fences has become a huge factor of this offense.
A lot of times with those home runs and doubles, you'll see the strikeout average kind of high. And you have some guys in the lineup that have a little bit higher strikeout ratio, but for the most part, they're putting barrel on ball and making the defense work, which is a great concept to have to get to Omaha.
Already 5 hits in this third inning, and clearly this Campbell offense has been unstoppable in conference play. They've averaged 13 runs in the conference. I don't know who's going to pitch well enough to slow down this offense in a 3-game series.
You know, the best thing about baseball is that it can be any guy at any certain time, but right off the bat to think who's going to stop them or who's going to limit their run scoring, you know, off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody.
USC Upstate, who's ranked second in the league, allowed 44 runs in a 3-game series. They have the best pitching staff in the conference. Longwood and Campbell 1-2 now in ERA and record. Yet it's been all Campbell so far as Denning works the count full.
You can see the Campbell's offense came up here with a plan today. Obviously knowing Podajecki's going to work both sides of the plate, making him, here we are in another 3-2 count straight after Pearson's 3-2 count. Or excuse me, Jordan's.
Here's a line drive. Denning going back-to-back into right field. An absolute missile out of the ballpark.
Another great swing there by Denning, getting another 3-2 fastball elevated. He was able to drive over on the hump there in right field for a no-doubter as well.
Boy, 3-2 pitches have been Campbell's feasting in this inning.
Number 6, Drake Pearson.
Denning gets a fastball elevated, gets his barrel out in front, and just drives it. He gave a little bit more of a little less of a pimp than Jordan before him, but definitely a no-doubter.
Wow, that ball cleared the hump. Connor Denning with his 8th home run of the season.
Back-to-back home runs will play in any game and on any day.
Campbell's coming off a series against A&T where they hit 15 home runs. I tell you, if you're starting pitcher in the Big South Conference, what a challenge when then Drake Pearson follows suit and he has 9 home runs.
It's just one guy after another after another. You think, oh, we get past this one guy, but the next guy that steps up is always another power threat or even a doubles threat.
Let's see what the pitching coach, Brad Mincy, has in store here.
You know, I think he's kind of, you know, speaking volume to the player that Podajecki is. Said he's a grinder. He's a great athlete. I think he kind of just goes out there and tells him to settle down. You know, we got to score to win anyways. Try to get back in the zone and get us out of this inning and to hit.
Well, all that being said, the offense has come to play, which that makes Thomas Harrington a happy camper. Top 10 in the ERA in the country, and he gets 4 runs of support quickly. And now if you're Drake Pearson, you're looking dead red fastball here, correct?
I would think so. After him going late in the count 3-2 to both guys, I think he's going to try to get a fastball in because his off-speed just hasn't been there so far today.
Pearson second in the conference in home runs behind Longwood's own Hunter Gillum. And Pearson going oppo taco. Wait a second. This ball is just off the wall. And Pearson wants 3. So nearly a home run for Drake. And he'll take the triple as the Campbells are punishing the ball in this inning.
Home run, triple. Great job there. Got a breaking ball left up a little bit. Was able to drive it and show that backside power he has just to the short fence there in right field and dig out a triple.
Now, I thought this ball might leave the park, so I had to hold my breath for a second. This was punched out to right field.
He got barrel. It looks like he's jogging maybe a little out of the box, thinking that he maybe got it. But without a doubt, still able to get to third pretty easy. But it looks like he maybe capped that ball just a little bit to where it died out there at the warning track.
Maybe in a explosive's the wrong word, but just an inning that's broken down for Andrew Podojecki. His brother Zach was a pitcher and a member of the Longwood team 4 years ago. And now younger brother has had to face the top hitting offense in the Big South, and it's been a tough go of it in this third inning. Now, if that ball leaves the park from Pearson, I mean, it wouldn't have had the height to leave it, but my gosh, that would have been, this place would have exploded.
Go back to back to back is very impressive. But off the bat, I kind of heard your voice there, and I was like, I thought it was going to get up, and as it died on the right fielder stretched out.
So 4 runs in the blink of an eye for the Campbell Camels. All of a sudden now, top 30 in the country in scoring at 8 runs a game, and they're having no trouble tonight.
And while all this has happened so far, a home run, and a triple, here still with 0 outs in the bottom of the third.
Andrew Podojecki allowed 7 runs in his last outing, and Coach Oxendine mentioned his team needed to bounce back. Presbyterian came into Farmville and really put it on Longwood the first 2 games, 2 double-digit wins. And then Longwood showed some real life and scored 15 on Sunday to salvage the series.
Yeah, head coach Oxendine mentioned, he was like, I was just very interested to see how my players would react, you know, after coming off those first 2 losses and being double digits. For them to come out and kind of play with a chip on their shoulder and come out and score 15 runs definitely speaks a lot of volume to the team that they have out there.
And a Longwood team at 8-4 in the conference, so this is no fluke. What, 4 conference series into the year? Now it's about finding that rhythm offensively. Here's the payoff pitch. Oh, Bavin chops one to the mound. Look at the runners scoring. And an aggressive play by Pearson makes it 5-0.
Pearson did a great job there applying pressure to the defense on the slow roller back to the mound. Looks like Podojecki kind of bobbled it there. But after giving up a home run, triple, he needs to get that first out, take that easy out at first, as he did.
So Waldy Arias in what's been a big-time explosive inning. Now can he add to the tally?
I still think it starts with getting his first pitch early. You know, he has a plan here on the first pitch. There goes slider away. Looks like maybe he was looking a fastball sinker in and didn't get it. I think when you have an explosive inning like we do here in the bottom of the third with 4 runs being scored so far, you can be very selective as a hitter.
Certainly helps when you have Arias in the 8th spot with 20 runs batted in. Sort of a hidden aspect of this order, the depth and the amount of players that can contribute up and down the lineup.
Yeah, basically with Belbin leading off and going all the way down to Pearson and Babin, when you get to Waldy, it's almost like the lineup flips over and you have another 1-hole hitting. So it's not really a 7, 8, 9. It's more of a 1 through 7 and then a leadoff man in Waldy.
Arias, of course, led the country in hit by pitches last year. And he's sort of been less of that this season and more of a hitter as he rips a single down the line. Arias wants to immediately test the arm of Peterson and makes it in. 4th extra base hit of the inning.
Campbell's bats are hot as he gets a fastball in after seeing 2 off-speed pitches and driving it down the third base line. Great job hustling out of the box there to get 2.
Well, if you're Podojecki, you came in unblemished into this inning, and 2 home runs, a triple, and a double make life tough.
That it does, and he doesn't have his off speed. As we saw there with Waldy, he goes 2 breaking balls to start the at bat, both balls. It looks like his fastball sinker is the only thing he has to play with, and it makes it very challenging for a starting pitcher to come out with 3 pitch and only have 1 that's working.
So here's Tyler Halstead. He's already earned a Player of the Week honors in the conference and has the best batting average of any player in the conference in Big South play. Think of that as the 9-hole hitter who's the finishing touch in this order.
Yeah, Halstead he didn't start at the beginning of the year, but when he got his name called, he showed up. He has quality at bats. He finds ways to get on, whether it be a double in the gap or even a blooper, a hard hit ground ball through the middle. He's doing a great job so far for the bottom of Campbell's lineup.
And he hits 9th for Justin Harris, become a full-time starter in conference play. Recruited for his plus defense. He had elite defensive skill. The offense is like a cherry on top as he grounds into the shift. This will move Arias to third.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he went. Usually, Podajecki is going to go fastball changeups to lefty, so I think there's a little changeup there that Halstead just rolled over to the second baseman.
So here's Jared Belbin in what has been a 4-run third inning. What a big moment for Podajecki. Any more runs in the third, and Longwood may be forced to go to its bullpen really early, which is not what Chad Oxendine wants to do.
Yeah, that's just the pressure that Campbell's forced on him, putting up a crooked number in the third so far. Looks like Podajecki, outside of the few doubles, triple, and home runs, it looks like he's still trying to get in there and attack the zone and trying to let his defense work for him. And that's, all he can do right now.
He's given up 8 hits so far. Campbell team, it averages 13 hits a game. I mean, we've talked about the prolific balance. This is Belbin's 3rd time up, and we're only in the 3rd inning. I mean, that is MLB The Show type numbers when you're on pace to score 45 runs in a game.
Yeah, those numbers are definitely video game numbers. It makes it challenging for any starting pitcher coming into Jim Perry Stadium to try to have a plan to attack these guys, because no matter what it is, they're still going to try to pull something else out of the hat to get the job done.
And on the flip side, you're facing a starter in Thomas Harrington who's been untouchable, right? So you have that dynamic of the fire of the offense and then the icy cool of Shaquille O'Neal in the icy hot commercials. Because Harrington does not allow runs as their strike 2.
And I think Podajecki, as a starting pitcher, I don't know if he really focuses or thinks about it, but he has to have an image coming into this game. He's facing Thomas Harrington in that he's 8-1 and has the best record in the Big South and high strikeout numbers. So you got to know this is going to be a low-scoring game for his offense and figure out how to pitch ways out just like that, fastball away from strike 3.
So Campbell scores 4, and it's a 5-0 game through 3.
As you can see here, Longwood Lancers starting off with the best conference start in program history. Picked 11th in the preseason poll, but so far throughout conference play has been very phenomenal. Here we have Jack Snell starting off for the Lancers. Hard hit fastball there. on the first pitch. Great job on the Camels had the shift going there. We had the third baseman. Bell been playing right up the middle for out number 1. And now steps in Gregory Ryan, shortstop, junior.
Boy, Greg Ryan took that right off his knee.
Yeah, it looks like Harrington went fastball in right there at 93 miles an hour and went right off the, I think he missed the Evo shield there and went off the knee. Here we can see fastball in just a little late. Oh, and it looks like he got off the back knee, actually.
That's going to hurt.
Don't have an Evo shield there.
Especially with Harrington's speed, and you combine that with some force off the bat. Boy, Harrington is not missing much tonight. Another strike.
Even after that long inning from the Camels, putting up 4 there in the bottom of the third, Harrington continues to come out and show why he's dominant, starting off fastball, breaking ball, just showing the whole.
Top 10 in the country in ERA. And he puts it to work again. Add a strikeout to his tally, give him 3. I mean, good luck, right? Like, how do you hit Thomas Harrington?
I mean, he's a 3-pitch mix guy. And right there we saw fastball, slider only. I mean, even with that, his fastball and his slider, he's able to go deep in the game just with those 2 pitches because they're just plus pitches.
That's a lot of pluses for Thomas Harrington, who in the latest MLB draft projections, a late first round, early second round pick, which speaks to he's not only a great pitcher, Big South, regionally, but nationally high perspective.
And that mock draft, you know, he's only creeped, I guess you would say, lower going into the first or, you know, early second round. But, you know, we're only halfway through the season, or just a little past halfway through the season. I see for those numbers to continue to drop and him maybe be in a first round for sure spot.
When you locate at 93 in the 4th inning, it certainly helps. Boy, what a challenge for an opposing offense. You get sported the 5-run lead. He has given up 1 hit tonight. And now the nation's leader in wins. We'll look for another clean 4th inning. Just like we thought with a backwards K. Are you kidding me, Thomas Harrington? Untouchable stuff on a Friday night in the Big South.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive
Babe, it's 8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
It's bow time. The workday might be ending, but your family's hunger is still gearing up for the night shift. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. Or you could just drop a big bow box on it. Because when you can feed the family with 12 Supremes, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can clock out and still spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner. It's bow time.
Big things are happening this year across the South, from the mountains to the coast. The fast are getting faster. The strong are getting stronger. And the best is getting better. Get ready to raise your expectations. Get ready for something big. Ingalls, a proud sponsor of Big South Sports.
So here's why this series matters. Think about coming into the weekend. Campbell at first place by 3 games. If you want to catch the top team, you have to get some wins. Upstate, Longwood, Asheville, all in the hunt. And really, with 6 teams qualifying for the tournament, you can't afford to fall too many games below 500. So if you're Longwood, if you're Winthrop, teams like that ilk can ill afford to lose games early in conference play. And the new pitcher, Nick Karlinchak, for the Longwood Lancers, he's been asked to work some major innings this year. Karlinchak, 14 outings, about an inning per appearance. 14 walks, 14 strikeouts for the redshirt junior. And after Campbell's offense scored 4 in the third, Lawson Harrell gets things started here in the fourth. So Podajecki with his shortest start of the year, only 3 innings. Typically, he's gone 6+ in every start. A challenge here for the Longwood bullpen working in the 5-0 game. Lawson Harrell gets on 35% of the time, and he's ripped a couple of balls to right field tonight. 2 lineouts, that opposite field approach. That's a good sign if you're head coach Justin Hare. As now he goes the other way and shoots a line drive to left. This ball has a chance to the warning track, and Peterson keeps it in the park.
Great swing there on another fastball. Drove out to one of the deepest part of the fields there in left center. Looks like he thought he got it as he was kind of jogging out the box.
Because the first 2 swings, Christian, he ripped him to right. That time he took a fastball in and nearly cleared the yard.
Looks like he learned from the first 2 pitches there, being maybe a little late on him and was able to get the barrel out in front. Shoot it out there to left center.
So Karlinchak takes a big, deep breath as he works into Zach Nedo. Well, all Nedo did was turn a single into a double. He's bobbing his head to the beat of his own drum. It's kind of fun to watch, just seeing Nedo play in his own groove.
It's just the rhythm that he gets in. You know, once he gets in it, he's kind of rolling and flowing. Nothing going to stop kind of killing his vibe.
You've been in those moments. How do you keep up with the vibes, with the confidence that Nedo brings to the plate?
I think you just stick to your plan. You know, going into it, it all starts before you get in the box. It starts, you know, in the indoor, in the cages. You know, practice before, early work, practice, all that stuff kind of comes into play. So once you get in the game, you don't think, you kind of just do.
He's reached base twice tonight. And Nedo now has reached base in 15 straight games. So clearly his bat is picking up at the right time. Leg kick and all. That's the question a lot of MLB scouts will have. How does that leg kick translate to the minors and to the next level? He never seems to be off time when he's at the plate.
It is a pretty, you know, high leg kick early in counts. When he gets into 2 strikes, he spreads out. But, you know, I don't see them, if he's, you know, playing well like he is now, I don't see them changing it. You know, as the velocity gets up there, he might try to lower it a little bit, but, you know, I don't.
Oh, did that hit him?
I don't look for him to change it.
I think he did. So Nedo's on with a hit by pitch. Well, that's one way to work around Zach Nedo. I want to see the replay. Did it actually hit him?
Looks like it bounced almost in the grass area, maybe just in the dirt. And if anything, might have hit him in the back, maybe. I mean, better than getting hit, you know, directly by a 86, 87-mile fastball, but.
So Campbell's had men on all night. Bases loaded in the first, another run in the second, 4 more in the third. And that's what has to be so frustrating if you're a Big South foe. How do you stop this offense that has clobbered everybody in conference play? There's been no easy outs in the Big South. Just Jordan fights one off. USC Upstate dominating A&T tonight 8-0. So all 3 of these clubs are in the thick of the conference race. Runner takes. That's an easy stolen base. The pitcher Spent a lot of time looking to second and really had no chance to get Nedo.
And that's another skill here with the Campbells. Obviously, we talk about their power numbers. We talk about their doubles. We talk about their ability to get barrels on a lot of balls, but also whenever they do, like here we got a walk from Nedo and then a stolen base. They just continue to apply pressure to the opposing defense, and I think that's where those 13, 14 runs a game comes from.
That's 64 steals for Campbell. Top 20 in the country. They're willing to run, not just hit the ball out of the park. And now Jordan pops one up. Here's Gillum giving chase. It goes into the bullpen. Karlinchak, not the quickest to the plate with his pop time. It's got to be a tough task, right? You're down 5-0. You want to keep this game from essentially being over with the way Harrington pitches. That's a hard assignment.
It's a tough spot to come in out of the pen. Obviously, people want to come into a game that's a 0-0 or a 1 or 2 run game, but he's going to come in here and try to establish that fastball, slider, and changeup, which we saw that fastball he's trying to get into righties, on a couple of those jam shots there by Jordan. But we'll see if he can try to work those breaking balls in a little bit more. Obviously, like we mentioned in the starter, Podajecki, he was struggling on those off-speed pitches, which was leaving those fastballs down the middle for doubles.
Podajecki allowed 8 hits in 3 innings, and now Jordan flails one to shallow right. Let's see if Nedo tags here. There's the catch. Nedo holds up. Nice job by Ryan to cut that ball off.
Looks like he got jammed there again on a fastball low and in. Great job by Nedo trying to get the right fielder to force the throw there to see if it's offline or if he can advance.
Did he ever? That ball was bulleted into third base. Okay, so Dennings hit a home run from the left side tonight. Now he goes back over to the right side.
That's the one super cool thing, growing up, obviously playing the infield. I was always more of a bigger guy playing, hitting in a right-hander batter's box, but being able to be a switchy and be competitive at both sides of the plate, I just think
so. Like an Avatar, to have that next level ability.
Absolutely.
They're making an Avatar 2, by the way.
I'll be honest with you, Evan, I've not seen number 1
You
yet.
didn't see the first Avatar?
I know
the
about
highest
it.
grossing movie in American box office history?
I know about it. I've seen some bits and pieces, but I've not watched the complete movie, and I'm sorry that I let you down.
Okay, so tonight, when you get home at 11 o'clock, after this game will never end, you watch the movie till 2 a.m., and then let me know what you think.
I'll report back to you in the morning.
Yeah, give me a text. Connor Denning, who's blasted almost an equal amount of home runs left and right. You don't see that too often. 5 from the left side, 3 from the right. This game has hit the brakes. The pace of play has slowed down a bit as Campbell's offense has exploded tonight. You almost wonder why Nedo doesn't try for third. Such a big secondary lead.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to get the pitcher's timing there. Whether he's doing the same looks or sitting for the same time, he's getting pretty jumpy out there, bouncing back and forth like he's almost got the timing down. I would look for him to maybe try to advance here in this 2-0 count, even though a fastball may be coming here to Denny.
Karlinchak, the pitcher out of the pen. His cousins, Richie Schaefer, played for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's had 6 cousins play collegiate or professional sports. Big-time athletic family. Now he has to tie his shoelaces. Usually when I'm stressed on the mound, I'm not thinking about my shoelaces, so this is something new.
But also that is his plant foot, so I think if he was to feel in any foot, the plant foot kind of feeling a little loose. Got to tie that double knot out there, get it ready for the rest of the game.
So now on 3-0. Well, it definitely wasn't the laces' fault. There's a walk to Denning. Hit batter and a walk have made things complicated in this inning.
It's so long for Longwood. It's been a challenging concept for their pitchers. We mentioned about throwing strikes. Last year they walked a ton of guys. We've seen quite a few walks so far here in the early innings, but it makes it very challenging for your defense to help you out. Also, not just being anywhere near the zone is going to end up going to your bullpen early on a Friday Friday night.
And Drake Pearson, he's no slouch in this order. 9 more home runs. With the triple, he's now reached base in 24 straight games. He'll never catch Joe DiMaggio's MLB streak of 56. And yet, here's Pearson becoming a consistent threat. Oh boy, there's a base hit for Pearson. Over the bag at third, and that brings in not 1, but 2 runs as Tenning scores, and it's a 7th spot here in the 4th.
I think Pearson heard your question there about being a threat, and I think the answer is a firm yes. Pearson gets another fastball in the zone. He's able to handle and keep just inside that third base foul line. Gets his foot down early, sees it up, drives it. Just able to keep it fair to bring in 2 more runs for the Campbells.
That ball was crushed into the corner. And Justin Hare, the easiest job in sports. Just keep running. It's like one of those Chick-fil-A drive-through servers. Boy, this offense is fun to watch, Christian, I tell you.
They are, and I think the biggest part of it is it's not just 1 or 2 guys. It's the whole lineup. All 9 of them are contributing to this 7-0 game right here in the 4th, excuse me.
Babin lifts one to the left, and that should end the inning. There's Peterson. So we go to the 5th inning. Thomas Harrington with a touchdown of run support here on a Friday night.
Hey fans, the Campbell
So if Longwood's going to get things done offensively, these are 3 players to keep an eye on. Elliott Dick's not in the lineup tonight, but Schnell and Peterson, good RBI producers. And how do you avoid looking at the scoreboard right now? It's 7-0 in the 5th. If you're Longwood, how do you just block that out and try to score some runs?
I think it's super cliche to say, but
you're going to say it.
Yes, but each inning is a 0-0 ball game. Yes, it's 7-0, but to sit up at the plate with your approach and think, wow, this game's over, is not going to help anybody. So I think they go up there, try to win each inning, whether it be 1 run or 5 runs. Just go up there, have quality at bats, and try to win each inning here throughout the rest of this game.
Because scoring against Thomas Harrington is like running the Boston Marathon. He's top 10 of the country in strikeouts and ERA. That's a Herculean task.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's not impossible, that is possible but not impossible.
What are you, Kevin Garnett over there? As Kowalski shoots one to the gap. And on cue, a double to start the 5th inning. Well, there's an explosive outing for Longwood, 2nd hit of the day.
Great job there getting a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Looks like he left it a little bit over the plate. He was trying to get on the outside corner. Left it down the middle, and great barrel on the leg kick there to drive it to right field for a no-out double to try to get the Lancers rolling here.
Harrington hasn't faced much trouble today, and I'll be curious how he responds in this spot against Eric Chorba.
And so far, I think the only semi-trouble he's been in is that first inning that he led off the game with a hit by pitch. Runner got to second. That's all we've seen so far.
Harrington's shortest outing of the year was 6 innings. He's done it 5 times. 8-1 record, leads the country in wins. He works here in the 5th. And a little bit of trouble to start the inning. A leadoff double. And now 1-1 count to Chorba.
One thing about Thomas Harrington is that he's not phased. Obviously, he knows he has a 7-0, 7-run lead here. Looking to still establish the zone, continue to attack hitters, and let his defense work.
Oh my gosh, that thing fell off the table for strike 2.
And we talk about his stuff, earlier in the game.
90 strikeouts now for Harrington.
But, I mean, he has that fastball that's mid-90s, and for him to be able to throw that slider on the inside part of the plate to lefties and the outside, that takes a lot of skill.
Looking for his 5th strikeout. Good scoop by Babbitt. Longwood led the league in strikeouts at the plate last year, the Lancers. They've shown a lot more patience here in 22. Top 3 in the Big South in batting average, RBI, and fewest strikeouts. So a huge shift under Chad Oxendine. And all that being said, it's a huge task when you face the ERA and strikeout leader in the Big South, and Thomas Harrington.
And I think Chorba knows it here, obviously with a full count runner on second base. I know he has a base open, but with a 7-run lead, Harrington's going to attack him right here.
Here's the 3-2, and he got him with a changeup. So add another pitch to the arsenal, and 5 strikeouts.
And that's what we're talking about right there. He goes fastball, gets ahead, and then ends up falling back into a full count and able to throw a full count changeup for a strike to a lefty. Obviously, a changeup's a little more deceiving to the lefty. You see just how comfortable and confident he is in that changeup there.
Good luck to opposing hitters, because the way Harrington's throwing, he gives up a lazy fly ball for Michael Dolberry. I think Pearson has room. Oh, it's off the top of the dugout. Maybe 2 or 3 feet away from a catch.
Yeah, to catch that one, I think he's going to have to go up on top of that pad, which I don't think is allowed.
Now, you can jump over the pad and catch it. You just can't climb it like you're Spider-Man.
Correct, although that would have been pretty impressive.
How does Thomas Harrington suck the life out of an offense? Leadoff double, and yet it feels like Longwood has nothing going tonight.
I think it starts with his command. Obviously, we saw a slider there a little further out of the zone, but I wouldn't be surprised here if he runs that fastball in on the hands, as we just saw it pop up there on the first base dugout. I'm sure he'll try to get a weak contact and keep that runner at second base.
There's the slider, and he finds it for strike 2. So to go from losing control to finding it again, it makes it quite a challenge for an opposing offense. Harrington has notched 5 strikeouts in every start this year. Now he looks for a 6th. On cue with a slider. So he tries it 3 straight times, and Dolberry goes down swinging.
So far here in the 5th inning, Harrington's done a great job on the right-handed batters. He's going fastball slider, keeping them off their toes. And on lefties, he's going fastball changeup. As we see another slider here, it's just a good spot to be in as a pitcher where you can go slider there or fastball in, and both of them will work.
So let's see if Hayden Harris can cash in a run. That's a great stop by Babin. 5th-year senior, 150 games. He's taking a beating back there.
Yeah, you love to see it. Ball game's not over till the last out is recorded, but here in a 7-0 ball game, Babbitt's still bouncing around back there.
Now the 1-0 pitch. Boy, you had that slider change up, and then when his curveball's looping in, it's an ordeal for an opposing hitter.
It's almost night and day for Harrington so far. He's just so comfortable out there on the mound and not showing any signs of stopping.
So now the 1-1 to Harris. Dots it up at 93 for a strike, and he's 5 innings into his effort.
So far we saw a slider there and then a changeup. He's got another pitch in his arsenal, but how good he's throwing those fastballs and sliders, I don't see him going away from that.
Now the 1-2. Did he go? Well, looks like he didn't. Jeff Francis now appeals.
We talked about grinders all day, and Harris is definitely one of those. We saw in his first at bat, and here we see again here in a 2-2 count. He's not an easy out.
Harrington's punched out 2 in a row. Can he do it a third time to end this 5th inning? There's a smoked line drive to center that Halstead camps under. And after a leadoff double, Harrington unscathed to the 5th. We go to the bottom half here on ESPN Plus.
Papa John's just took their fresh, never frozen dough and hand stretched it into thin, oversized New York-style slices. I mean, look at that crust. That is the perfect crust thickness no matter how you eat it. So you can fold it or not. But I ain't gonna lie though, I fold it. Get a New York-style pizza from Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza.
In sports,
We are used to an even playing field.
Unfortunately,
Off the field,
court,
track,
Cost.
not all people are treated fairly.
In the Big South Conference,
we commit to using our voices to oppose injustices and inequalities.
Join us as we champion change.
towards ensuring even playing fields.
In and out of sports.
the Big South Conference,
We're allies.
We're advocates.
where winners are made.
This Big South broadcast is brought to you in part by Hercules Tires, ride on our strength. Visit HerculesTires.com. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings. Sunbelt Rentals, we have equipment for that. And First Citizens Bank, forever first.
You can make this graphic like 9 players long for Justin Hare's offense. I will admit that it was a misprint. Zach Nedo does not have 36 home runs. But these 4 hitters have been electric for Campbell offensively.
Yeah, Zach Nedo's doing a great job, as well as Pearson, Jordan, and Denning, and the rest of the Campbell's offense, like you mentioned, as Waldy steps to play. But they're doing a great job getting their pitches in their zone and sticking to their plan.
The plan's pretty nice. 7 runs, 9 hits tonight. Now this Longwood bullpen, a second straight inning of work for Nick Karlichek. And when you add the on-base machine, that's Waldy Arias. It's sort of the reason why the DH in the National League is such a huge game changer now for these teams, because there's no weak spot in any team's lineup.
Yeah, because you got to think, you got bases loaded with no outs, or excuse me, 2 guys on with no outs, and your pitcher coming up, they're going to strike them out or, get a double play, weak contact. It's almost a guaranteed out.
So Arias flies out to start the inning. A Campbell team that's been rolling with a run in the second, then 4, then 2. And after a tough game against North Carolina with the Camels, they only scored 4 runs. That offense has come to life quickly.
It has. They had a challenging road trip on the midweek at UNC, but looks like they're doing a great job coming back out and showing why they're, top of the Big South in offense.
And top 30 in the country in scoring, which makes Nick Karlichek's job a lot tougher. Longwood does not have a very deep bullpen. The top relief arm for the Lancers, Logan Barrier, he's thrown 27 innings. Expect to see him a lot this weekend. And then Michael Tolson, the closer, is a former weekend starter. So there's 2 or 3 key options for Coach Oxendine, but it's not a very deep pen.
And obviously you're not going to see those guys here with a 7-run lead with the Campbell being up. However, head coach Justin Hare, this is kind of a point throughout the year where you're up 7 runs in the 5th. You still want to apply pressure and continue to play your game, hopefully having a chance to get to Omaha.
So Halstead pops this up. There's 2 quick outs. How do you keep this consistent approach offensively? Because it is easy to look at the scoreboard and say, oh, it's 7-0. Harrington's pitching. That should be cake. How do you continue to put pressure?
Yeah, every day you come to the ballpark, obviously you're not going to have, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, a triple. You're going to have that every day, but just try to find ways to get guys on, get them over, and get them in. It starts with the leadoff batter, and Belbin being up, obviously a very good leadoff batter for the Camels.
There's a line drive for Belbin, tucked into the corner, and there's extra bases. So Jared Belbin with the 10th hit of the day. And how about this, Christian? 6 extra base hits.
We talked about it at the beginning of this game. Camels having home runs and doubles about the same one. They have 2 home runs so far today and some doubles on the boards as well. But there's that fastball elevated early in the count that he was able to get a barrel and drive.
Actually, I misspoke a second ago. 8 extra base hits now. And we're in the 5th inning, Christian. I mean, this is not a weekend, a series totals, 7 runs, 8 extra bases in 4+ innings.
Yeah, it appears that early work for the Camels is paying off here.
Lawson Harrell drills the first pitch foul.
I think Harrell is my sleeper pick. He's not looked over necessarily being in the heart of the Camels offense, but when he comes into a bat, he's super calm, super confident, and always gets a job done.
The Shelby, North Carolina product, who had a breakout weekend at Gardner-Webb. 2 home runs in that series. Campbell swept that road stretch, and now at 11-1 in the Big South. They've identified themselves as 1. Now who's going to be 2? Upstate, Longwood, Winthrop, all in that hunt. These teams also have to perform well against Campbell to be able to join that part.
And Longwood being right there in that 8-4 range so far, it can go any way. Like we mentioned, they have a very challenging schedule the rest of the conference play. Camels, Upstate, and Radford. Those are very challenging teams to play, especially if on the road. But it's still anybody's ball game there in the middle of the Big South standings.
So Karlinchek on 1 and 2 nearly has his strikeout. And I think if that pitch is presented better by Kowalski, or if the coordination's there with where he wants it, probably gets strike 3.
I agree. He's doing a great job of throwing that fastball on the outside and inside part of the plate. Looks like the home plate umpire thought that might have been a little bit in, but again, I agree with you on the receiving there by the catcher. It could have been either way.
Belbin is daring him to throw, and the count works full. A Campbell offense that came in leading the Big South in batting average, home runs, in slugging, and on base, in sacrifices. I mean, you name it. There's a lot of categories they're number 1. Toughest to strike out at the plate. All the challenge for Karlinchek, who gives up a fly ball. This should end the inning. There you go. Scoreless 5th for Longwood. Thomas Harrington returns, and we come back on ESPN+. So Chad Oxendine, who played at Coastal Carolina, coach for the Lancers, he has quite the challenge tonight. His club very high energy. They're a scrappy team, and they're being tested here tonight.
That they are, and we spoke to them earlier, and we saw the numbers that they have coming from last year versus this year. It's been super impressive to see where they're at in every category so far, hitting, pitching, defense. Obviously not where they want to be here, 7-0 game in the top of the sixth, but look for them to continue to grind. Like he mentioned, they're grinders. They're going to find ways, so let's see if they can do it here late in the ballgame.
Facing one of the toughest outs in the country, Thomas Harrington, who's in line for his 9th win. That would be a nation's leading 9 victories. We mentioned earlier, but his one loss was here at home against top 25 Maryland. 8 innings of 1-run ball. I don't know where the blemish is in his arm.
I mean, that's just a game of baseball, but very impressive outing against Maryland. Not able to, Campbell's weren't able to squeak a couple runs across to keep him perfect in those 9 wins, but ever since then, he's been dialed.
He did not go on the check swing. Remember, Harrington threw 24 pitches in the first inning. He's only at 69 pitches right now, which is a nice number, but clearly he can work deep into this game.
Absolutely. Being at that pitch count here in the top of the 6th inning is right where he probably usually is. Maybe a little lower, but how fast he's been working in these innings, I don't see him slowing down.
Oh, my gosh. Good luck to Michael Peterson, who has electric speed. Former 2-sport athlete, track and baseball in high school. Won a state championship in the 100-meter, extremely fast. Out of Prince George, Virginia. And collects a base hit. It's a leadoff single for the Lancers.
Longwood back-to-back innings, started off with a double last inning and a single here. Got a little bit more speed on the base pass, so let's see if they can manage.
Well, speed's the story. 20 stolen bases for Peterson. So if anyone's going to put pressure, it's this man right here.
And Thomas Harrington is pretty quick to the plate. He's not super fast, but not super slow. But that 94-mile-an-hour fastball will definitely help out and helping Babin try to get a good throw out there.
This is where Campbell has struggled. They have allowed 71 steals, which over the course of 35 games is basically 2 steals a night as this ball nearly gets away from Pearson.
And T-Rob does a great job with helping his pitchers kind of manage that running game. Of course, you said they've stolen a lot of bags against the Campbell's pitchers and catchers, but they still do a good job managing the runner. But if he gets a good jump, there's nothing else you can do.
And that's the challenge, right? How much of it's on the catcher? How much is on time to the plate?
The only thing the pitcher can do really is in that try to be 1.5 is average to the plate for a pitcher, but try to be under that 1.5 range to give his catcher a good chance on the back end.
So Harrington quick here out of the slide step, and this could be 2. Nedo, the toss. Arias the turn. The double play cleans the slate.
There's Harrington's effectiveness there, getting a ground ball to All-American shortstop Zach Nedo. He knew Peterson was kind of coming in fast, so you can see him kind of come and get that ball and deliver a firm flip over to Waldy and an easy throw on the back end for 2.
Well, that's pretty to watch. We noted Longwood top 10 in the country in double plays. That has not been Campbell's MO, and yet timely on that one. All the more reason it's good luck scoring on Thomas Harrington because nothing has come easy.
And that, just as you said that right on cue, you see a power guy, Jack Snell, try to lay down a bunt there. Obviously, they got the shift on, and they're giving it to him. If he wants to do it, go ahead. But it's very tough for a power hitter to try to get that bunt down on that third base line.
Especially in a 7-0 game. Harrington's ERA has now dipped to, let's see if you can guess it. What is his ERA now?
Started out at a
1.37 entering the game.
1.21.
1.25. Not bad. Might be 1.21 here in a second. As with 2 outs, Harrington's 1 pitch away, sitting on 6 punch-outs. It is special watching Thomas Harrington, a future top 5 round pick, just power through hitters. surrendered 3 hits all night in search of his 9th victory of the year. Jack Schnell came in red hot in this Longwood order. In fact, he ranks 2nd in the Big South in doubles. And he's posted a hit in 7 straight games, so a really effective hitter in the heart of this order. Now in year 4 in a Lancer uniform, as he pokes one out of play. That's my favorite sound in college baseball.
Do you like the ping? Obviously, you like the ping, the real. So back in the Beezer days, it was always ding.
I'm thinking the BSR bats in Rosenblatt Stadium in the old Omaha ballpark. That was the best sound in college baseball.
It is music to the ears.
That or a backdoor breaking ball for a punch out. I'll take either one. And there's your punch out. So Harrington was 7 strikeouts. His offense was 7 runs, and number 7 is cooking as we go to the bottom of the 6th.
It's bow time. The workday might be ending, but your family's hunger is still gearing up for the night shift. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. Or you could just drop a big bow box on it. Because when you can feed the family with 12 Supremes, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can clock out and still spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner. It's bow time.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive
Babe,
heartwarming
it's
story.
8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
Whether you're a contractor or do-it-yourselfer, Sunbelt Rentals is committed to making it easy to get the tools and equipment you need. With a vast network of locations across the U.S. and Canada, no one brings more yes to your project. Our broad inventory and dedicated team of experts makes equipment rental absolutely available, positively reliable, and unquestionably easy. Visit sunbeltrentals.com to reserve your equipment or find a location near you.
Maybe the only thing slowing down Campbell's offense tonight is the bat weight, because otherwise 7 runs on 10 hits. They've been cooking.
I'll tell you what, those bat weights can get tricky, especially you get it snugged on there, have to hit off concrete. As we see the Campbells, how they got here so far, a couple home runs, a couple base hits. They've been great on the base path, and Zach Nedo advancing a couple bags each time he's been on as he steps to the plate.
That was part of a 4-run 3rd inning, and Campbell's not looked back since. Here's the self-proclaimed Mr. 305, the area code of Miami Beach, Florida. And he has a chance to get paid $305,000, if not more, when the draft comes up this year. Projected in the latest MLB prospects rankings, a top 40 prospect in all of baseball. We'll see if that comes to fruition come July for the draft. But he has all the tools, and he's shown a lot of them tonight. What tool makes him the most pro-ready, if you had to evaluate?
I think I would say his ability in the box at first, just his all-around presence, and then his athleticism to play anywhere in the field.
Oh, that throw got away. Because Nedo, who now leads the Big South in slugging, so he has big power numbers, an electric arm. Now, sometimes he makes the mental mistake at short. That is one area he needs to improve, but all things considered, he's really fun to watch at that shortstop position. Now the 3-0, he gets the green light, and he doesn't need it, so there's a leadoff walk. And Karlinchak with his 3rd walk of the day.
Logan Jordan.
And this is not what Coach Chad Oxendine wanted. Podojecki goes 3 innings, so the bullpen will be taxed today. And now for tomorrow's starter, a true freshman. That's a big test for Kevin Warnick.
Yeah, obviously he's here tonight watching this game, and going into it, he's going to have a plan on his own, whatever that is, obviously with these red-hot Camels right now, but just have to fill the zone early. We've seen quite a few walks so far and high pitch count. I think we need to reverse that, try to get obviously the pitch count down and just be in the zone a little more. Obviously they've hit a lot of barrels in the gaps, but you got to give your team a chance.
Logan Jordan bumped his average up to 290 with that home run. You ever picked off in front of a team bus before? It's kind of interesting. The bus just parks right behind first base.
It is a good view right there behind.
That's an easy exit out of the visiting dugout, I guess.
That is, especially if you're trying to leave fast.
Oh, speaking of leaving, Logan Jordan with 2 home runs tonight tanks his second shot.
Again, we talked about pitch count. He got another fastball again, and I think that one may have went even further, Evan.
400 feet of his first home run, 400 and then some on his second.
Like I mentioned, got the fastball there behind in the count. As he's struggling to get it ahead in the count, we see this fastball right down the middle, foot down, barrel, and he knew it again. Deep, deep out there into the night.
Remember, that's 368 to the bottom of the fence, so probably 380 to clear it, and Logan Jordan did not miss. I read your lips, and you said it rhymed with a kiss missile. That ball was just tattooed. Okay, so we asked earlier, will Thomas Harrington come back out for the 7th inning? I'm assuming now his night's done, correct?
I would say so. I don't see anybody getting warm in the bullpen down there. They could have already got warm and came down to the dugout, but
because just for preference, Harrington will not pitch next weekend. Campbell has semester finals, so no games next week. He won't start again, let me check the exact date, until Friday, May 6th. So that's a fairly decent amount of time off.
At the end of the day, if he wants the ball, I think they'll maybe try to give him another inning. But also, there's no really advantage to put him back out there in a 9-0 ball game here getting into the late thirds.
Okay, here's a question for you in a 9-0 game. Last year in the Big South, 10 runs after 7 was the run rule, mercy rule. Should that come back in conference play? This is across the country, of course, but here in the Big South, should that be a factor?
It's a very challenging question in the fact that obviously being down 9-10-0 is game's over, but at the same time, you know how baseball is. If you're in a playoff game and you're down 10-0 and they call it, you never have that chance to come back. A lot of things can happen. You can get a 5 or 4 run inning. So I would say the run rule needs to be held off and kind of just let them play it out.
Denning misses for strike 2. And you say that, and yet there are a lot of games this year. I mean, Longwood defeated PC 15-3. The games are so out of hand early that I understand pitchers have to get innings and reps, but what are you truly playing for when the game is a blowout in what is now the 6th inning?
Yeah, and I don't know if you can really put it on a 15 or 20 run rule like we saw Campbell.
Oh, what a nice sliding catch. Stolberry robs a hit. Go ahead.
Like we saw with Presbyterian here on a Sunday, Campbell wins 36-4. That got a little out of hand. Maybe try to put a run rule limit on that, but
Denning think he has a double, and then he doesn't.
Still staying alive, even with a 9-run game, staying alive out there in outfield, making a good sliding catch.
And I get it as the team losing 9-0. You're never just going to hand the ball off and say, we're done. I mean, a diving catch shows you why, but you also have to know that, oh my God, Campbell keeps hitting home runs. Jordan has a couple. Harrington's throwing well. Possibly a pitching change here. I mean, it just starts to snowball, right?
Like you mentioned, you got to think about arms too. You know, being on a staff, you don't have unlimited arms just to, hey, go out there and get a couple innings, or hey, mop up roll, whatever it is. You don't have all these arms that you can just rely on and just throw 4 or 5 guys throughout a 30-run ball game.
We'll take a timeout for the pitching change here on ESPN Plus.
It's bow time. The workday might be ending, but your family's hunger is still gearing up for the night shift. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. Or you could just drop a big bow box on it. Because when you can feed the family with 12 Supremes, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can clock out and still spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner. It's bow time.
it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive
Babe,
heartwarming
it's
story.
8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
Whether you're a contractor or do-it-yourselfer, Sunbelt Rentals is committed to making it easy to get the tools and equipment you need. With a vast network of locations across the U.S. and Canada, no one brings more yes to your project. Our broad inventory and dedicated team of experts makes equipment rental absolutely available, positively reliable, and unquestionably easy. Visit sunbeltrentals.com to reserve your equipment or find a location near you.
It's bow time. The workday might be ending, but your family's hunger is still gearing up for the night shift. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. Or you could just drop a big bow box on it. Because when you can feed the family with 12 Supremes, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can clock out and still spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner. It's bow time.
So Noah Eaker, the Coastal Carolina transfer, Chad Oxendine drawing from his previous program, comes in out of the bullpen. The Cherryville, North Carolina product. Have to be honest, I've never heard of Cherryville, North Carolina. There's strike one.
I expect Eaker to come out of the bullpen and fill up the zone like we've mentioned throughout the game. Another fastball, slider, changeup guy. See if he can try to keep these hot Campbell hitters on their toes.
Drake Pearson, who's been part of the Mash Brothers tonight, 9 runs on 11 hits. Cherryville, North Carolina is in Gaston County. 5,000 is the population.
And is that near? That's not near Lake Gaston, is it? Is that a bad question?
Somewhat. It's outside of Shelby, North Carolina, about
Okay.
20 minutes from Shelby, far east of Charlotte, or I guess west, technically. As Patrick Starr would say, "Weast." I thought you said east.
I like
figured
that
you know that reference.
I like that Smudge Pond reference. That's a good one.
Figured. Drake Pearson is the Krusty Krab of Bowie's Creek. He is a power-hitting machine. He's been really effective at the plate. The arm sleeve looks pretty nice, too, if you're thinking about it, with the Ric Flair eye black. So there's, ooh, nope, ball 2. You've struck out a ton in your career. I think you knew the look.
Yeah, Eaker kind of gave a little eye to the umpire there. I think Pearson maybe even thought after the pitch before he had called on an inside pitch, called a strike. Looks like that was the same pitch.
So let's try it again from Eaker on 2-2. I've never understood, with nobody on base, why signs have to be so complicated. Who's going to pick your sign unless the catcher's opening his legs or revealing the sign, right?
So obviously there's no base runners, so they're not going to pick those. But if you're given numbers from the dugout, I think that was a more common thing, or different hand signals. A lot of times there can be pitchers in the opposing dugout that's kind of their job. They write every sign down, they try to pick it. So it's just part of the game. It's changed a lot, but
there's a base hit for Drake Pearson. So he has 3 hits tonight, a triple, a double, and a single. A little cycle watch here in the 6th.
Got plenty of time here.
Would he come up again? Let's see, 6th inning. I guess he could. In the 7th or 8th.
The way the Campbell's bats are going, I think might go another way around.
Now here's a batter who may never get a cycle, but actually has a home run, a triple, and a double this year. Ty Babbitt.
Babbitt has a triple this year?
Yes.
Very nice.
I can't tell you what game. I don't remember that offhand, but he has 1 triple along with 5 home runs. Now it begs the question, if it's like if a tree fell in the forest and no one's there to see it. If we didn't see the triple, it was a road game. Let me see. Okay, that was at Gardner-Webb, not streamed that night. They streamed the next 2 games.
Not streamed?
It wasn't streamed. I don't know. Could have been a double that stretched into 3. We'll have to ask him after the game. Ooh, nice pitch from Noah Eaker.
Yeah, Eaker's doing a great job. I mean, he gave up that base hit there to Pearson, but he's doing a great job filling up the zone. Worked to a 2-2 count, which isn't bad, but doing a great job attacking as Babbitt's here in an 0-2 count.
Ty Babin playing in 155 career games. Now he whiffs on a slider. There's a strikeout. The base was occupied, so Pearson goes down to second. And how about Campbell here? A chance to score 10 runs in 6 innings. They average 9 runs a game in the conference. This is a next-level offense, just continuing to go to work.
Still got to stay locked in, even like we mentioned, 9-run ball game. We talked about what should be the run rule. You know, certain pitchers coming in when you have a thin bullpen, but they still got to stay locked in, continue to play the game, and try to score runs.
Well, the Arias a double back in the third. He's 1 for 3 tonight. And you played with Waldy his first season year last, correct?
I did not. Waldy came in a year after me, but lucky enough to be on the mic with you over the past couple of years, so I was able to become pretty close with him as far as, you know, trying to guide him, talk about hitting, talk about whatever it is.
He's a senior who's uncertain about his future, has a COVID year available if he wants to use it, like many players. And whether he transfers or moves on or heads back to the Dominican, he's not sure what the next step is. Set to graduate this spring with a degree in sports marketing and communications. That's always a hard question, especially for some of these older players, 22, 23. What do you do next?
Looking back on it, obviously, you know, I spent 2 years in junior college and then 2 years here at Campbell. Obviously, you want to say, yes, I would come back for sure, like I will be back. But at the end of the day, you know, you got to think what's best for the program, what's best for you, and kind of make that decision.
Ooh, friendly fire. You can't do that into your own dugout. So let's say you were in those shoes. There's a COVID year. You have an opportunity to return for your 5th. Would you take it? Would you look professionally? What was going through your mind at that point?
To not be in that situation is tough to determine, but body was kind of breaking down a little bit. Wasn't in the best health, but
I mean, you hit 20 home runs, so clearly you were functioning as a player.
I can't lie. I would probably come back to Booze Creek one more last farewell tour, hoorah.
Used a lot of expressions in that sentence. There's Eaker on 2-1. And Arias smokes one to left. There's Peterson.
Good barrel.
That ends the inning. 2 runs in the 6th make it 9-0. It's Campbell rolling here in game 1. The local product, Cam O'Brien, comes into pitch. This is actually the 3rd time this year he's filled in after Thomas Harrington, so you go from the teacher to the substitute, and the sub's been pretty good. Now O'Brien looks for, what, the last 3 innings to end this thing if you're Justin Harrington?
Yeah, it's a good spot to be in, to come in after Thomas Harrington, after watching him just shred through offenses throughout the year. But he's going to continue to try to come in and throw that fastball slider as well, and keep the Lancers on their toes, which they have been all this game so far.
How about Harrington? 78 pitches in 6 innings, and he notched 7 strikeouts.
He continues to do what he's done all year.
Only 4 hitters above the minimum. And I wouldn't even say he was dominant tonight. It just was effective and kind of Harrington-esque.
It was very efficient as well. I mean, after the first inning going 20 pitches, from there on out, it was pretty much, 5 to 10 pitches just going after hitters.
And this gives Justin Hare the luxury. Their big bullpen arms, Ty Cummings and Ryan Chassie, they will not throw tonight, I imagine. So that opens up the rest of the series for your top arms.
And that's exactly where you want to be in a series. Starting off Friday night, put up 9 runs is always good, but allowing to keep your bullpen rested for game 2 and game 3. And it looks like with Cam O'Brien coming in, looks like we got Grant Nipp behind the plate coming in right with him.
So Bavin's night is done. Good catch. Nipp, the Alabama transfer. So here's Greg Ryan, the starting shortstop and 2-time transfer from Pitt to VCU down to Farmville. Longwood has had the tough luxury, if you will, of losing 7 games in walk-off fashion, including against VCU earlier this year. A battle-tested team that sits at 18-20 and could be as good as any team in the league, and at times could be beat by anybody in the league.
Obviously, in those extra inning games, you want to be on the other side of those. But at the same time, to have to understand that you were in the fight and you were kind of forcing free baseball, as people would say, to know that they have that fight in them and late in the inning could be good for them late in the season.
Greg Ryan 0 for 2 tonight against Thomas Harrington, who gave up just 3 hits in 6 innings. You kind of you lose the value. You undersell what Harrington could do. And how about this photographer? Her name's Laura Stroud, fighting for the best.
From the baseball team to the media team to the trainers, goes all throughout the staff.
I mean, you're going in between 2 bars. You're looking for that tight, photogenic angle of O'Brien, who issues a strikeout with the cameras clicking.
Perfect timing.
Now, did she get the shot? We got to see, can we zoom in on her and see if she can show us the recoil of the shot?
We need her mic'd up there so we can go down to her to get those shots. But Cam O'Brien doing a great job, coming out of the bullpen, bumping that 95, 96 mile-an-hour fastball in there for a strike.
And I think she heard us because she just left for the evening.
She might be mic'd.
There's a ground ball to first. Pearson snags it and 2 quick outs. It must be fun as a head coach when your starter works 6 effective and your bullpen follows suit by throwing strikes.
Absolutely, and throwing strikes and continuing Harrington's success in the strikeout fashion from the first batter. But it definitely makes it, I say a guy coming out of the bullpen throwing the same velocity is a little bit easier to adjust to, but seems that they're having a little problem here with Cam O'Brien.
That's 95 for a strike. So O'Brien has thrown even harder than what Harrington has. And you add that mix, and good luck for a Longwood offense that came in scoring 7 runs a game, second in the Big South in doubles and batting average, and they've done none of that tonight. Oh, she's back. The photog.
I'm convinced that she can hear us.
Oh, what's funny part, there's actually a crowd mic right in front of where she's sitting that picks up everything going the other way. So if it's like a reverse mic, then maybe she hears everything we're saying.
Could be. You can hear the clicks down there.
Listen in, folks. Laura Stroud taking the pictures. There you go. Now, which one did she like? Boy, it has to be nice if you're Justin Hare to find a pitcher who throws 94 from Wake Forest, North Carolina, just an hour north of here. And he's been pounding the zone.
And it looks like he's so comfortable out there with that fastball. I mean, that's pretty much all we've seen. We've seen one slider and all fastball so far.
So O'Brien is one pitch away from ending the inning. Let's not forget there are fireworks slotted for tonight post-game. If not the fireworks of watching 4 home runs from this Campbell offense or watching Thomas Harrington, you get the treat of actual fireworks post-game. So here's the 2-2, and that'll force the count full.
Yeah, it appears that Cam O'Brien's going to just continue to come out and attack these hitters with just fastballs. You see there, we've only seen one off-speed. He does have an off-speed pitch that is pretty good, but with a 9-run lead, it looks like he's just going to try to get his defense to work for him.
So Harrington with 7 strikeouts. O'Brien looks for his second. And he's got it with a fastball. 95 from Cam O'Brien. That's some heat to end the top of the 7th.
Big things are happening this year across the South, from the mountains to the coast. The fast are getting faster. The strong are getting stronger. And the best is getting better. Get ready to raise your expectations. Get ready for something big. Ingalls, a proud sponsor of Big South Sports.
This Big South broadcast is brought to you in part by Hercules Tires, ride on our strength. Visit HerculesTires.com. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings. Sunbelt Rentals, we have equipment for that. And First Citizens Bank, forever first.
Great crowd on hand tonight. Students have packed out Jim Perry Stadium, and they've seen quite a treat from Campbell so far.
Number 14, Tyler.
Yeah, it looks like we got a full crowd over the dugout.
Averaging 1,000 fans per game. Would be an all-time season best.
It's just fun when the bats are exploding like they were tonight. It brings everybody out.
Fireworks and rally towels always help. And winning 13 of your last 14 games. That never hurts the cause.
Absolutely.
How as a player does that motivate you to see a good attendance and a team that's starting to click here in the month of April?
You know, I think it brings a lot of momentum, a lot of energy, makes you want to go out and not really do extra, but makes you want to show out for your home audience.
Michael Peterson makes another nice catch. Campbell has not been an explosive home team, only 11-8 at home, but they started the year 1-6. So really, since the end of February, they have flipped the switch at home.
Yeah, I know the neutral sites and the road trips have been very good for the Campbells, but they're looking to try to flip that script, like you mentioned, starting out 1-6 and now being 11-8 and trying to pick up number 12 here tonight.
Not many teams are 11-5 on the road and neutral and then have a worse record at home. It's usually the opposite in college baseball. Which, if you want to get to Omaha, which is the goal of all these teams, being able to play on the road is a huge part of it. Because no Big South team, I think, will ever host a regional with ballparks and RPI rankings and things that I just don't see it happening. Even Coastal Carolina in its heyday, even when the Chanticleers hosted, it was at a neutral site minor league park in Myrtle Beach.
I could agree with that. Winthrop's a little bit older stadium, not as big. High Point Stadium is pretty small stands-wise, but I'll tell you what, here in Booga's Creek, you bring a couple stadium seats out there in right field, and you got the hump out there. I don't know if it'll be enough, but potential.
There was a neat story 3 years ago in 2019 former administrative assistant in the department, Ricky Ray, the deputy AD, he submitted a bid for Campbell to host a super regional, as there's a strikeout of Belbin. Because in the other bracket, Illinois State almost beat Louisville in a best 2 out of 3. Campbell went to game 3 against ECU. If both underdogs won that game, there would have been a super regional here at Jim Perry Stadium.
That would have been absolutely electric.
There would have been people coming out from the cow farms to watch that game. Instead, of course, East Carolina won. Louisville held on to win, and the Cardinals swept the Pirates to go to Omaha. Kendall Rogers of D1 Baseball put out his projections for Omaha right now, and he has Southern Miss at a Conference USA as a surprise team that are right now ranked 15th in the country, so would host a regional. You think of some of the conference realignment, that's a club along with Mercer that's played really well, 2 teams that have non-traditional conferences that could make a run come June.
Both ball clubs very, very good, but I think I saw a month ago, Southern Miss, they had, I think it was a record attendance. I couldn't put a number on it, but it was in the 10,000s for a weekend game.
The big series of note this weekend is Wofford and Mercer, 2 teams in the top 30 in RPI meeting, and Wofford's leading Mercer right now 6-3. The Terriers went to Dallas Baptist and won a series, and Mercer's beaten South Carolina, has wins over Louisville, big non-conference wins.
Mercer has a beautiful park, and they're another scrappy team. They can blast balls out of the ballpark or bunt.
Just like that, Lawson Harrell with a base hit. Because for mid-major teams, it's a tough psychological hurdle you have to jump, and that's what made Coastal Carolina's championship with Chad Oxendine's former program such a unique run in 2016.
It was, and from that ball club, you saw a lot of power out of that ball club. It was, they could handle the barrel as far as small ball, run the base path, take care of the ball in defense, and just blast balls out of the ballpark.
And that's why Chad Oxendine, he wanted to follow the blueprint laid out by Gary Gilmore, the Hall of Fame legendary coach at Coastal. He's implemented some of those techniques. Some of the kids just touched our crowd mic. They don't know anything. Oh, yep.
We're still here.
I think. Let's see if he goes back for it. Oh,
I think he felt that he might pick it up.
Oh, and he walks right by it. I don't know if that kid has ESPN Plus, but if he doesn't, for a measly $7 a month, you can watch all the games, including tomorrow at 3 o'clock for Game 2. Here's the All-American Zach Nedo with 2 outs. He wanted it there. Good slider for strike 1.
Yeah, there's that 1-0 slider there, obviously showing some respect to him. Not going to just lay a fastball in there, but looks like he just swung just under that, trying to go for the fences there.
You could see it in Neto's face. You know, sometimes hitters tell you a story, and Nedo just missed a home run. He only has 6 this year. He hit double-digit home runs in 21. Another good swing that time.
I hate to say it, but I got here a little late today because of traffic and what other reasons. I think those foul balls are getting pretty close to the vehicle out in the parking lot.
Oh, where'd you park?
Directly by the hair salon.
You always got to park far away. I've learned that lesson the hard way. Had my car dented twice. And if anyone can make a car do some damage, it's Zach Nedo, the Big South leader in slugging percentage. The ball sneaks away, so Harold takes second. Okay, so here's where the run rule thing plays a factor, right? Because 7th inning, if you want to extend this game and not lose in a 10-run game, you have to play well or pitch it well if you're Longwood. So I think there's an incentive to the run rule because it forces teams to earn a win or not just give the game away.
I can agree with that. Obviously, it's been a one-sided game thus far here. For them to extend, they have 2 outs, but obviously would have to get the All-American Zach Nedo out here. Would have to battle to get to another at-bat.
Now the 2-2. And Nedo hits a high fly ball. This one has a chance and stays in the park. Off the end of the bat. It keeps it 9-0. Let's go to the 8th. Nearly a 2-run shot for Mr. 305. So here's how the series slates up the rest of the weekend. Game 2 at 3 o'clock. Cade Boxrucker gets his second weekend start of the year. And then on Sunday, now if you're Longwood with 5 losses in the league, you can ill afford to drop the next 2 in the series. This weekend has some big importance in the conference standings.
It does, and it all starts with that starting pitching like we mentioned. They're going to have to come out and try to have another plan to attack the Campbell hitters and to get on the board. You know, you got to win a game, you got to get on the board, and we see it's goose egg there through the 8th inning.
Oh, I don't know how Chorba made contact there, but he almost had a double.
Clearly he was jammed there on that swing, but it almost looked like he got his hands.
Yeah, like did it not rattle his hands there too, as it just went left of the base? That's one of the unique ones you see in college baseball. Campbell Bryant has clocked as high as 95 here in relief. Brings it 93 outside. So a little less juice for O'Brien in the second inning. I know adrenaline's a factor.
Coming out of the pen after Thomas Harrington's beautiful start today, showing that 3 hits up there. Obviously he wants to continue that success, but
we found Laura again taking her photos. That one's ripped out of play.
Heads up down there in the bullpen.
I imagine there'll be no one else pitching in this game other than Campbell Bryant.
I could agree with that. There's no reason to burn another guy, especially this late in the season. Not really trying to get any innings out of anybody, but Campbell Bryant definitely has the ball the rest of the game.
So O'Brien, who gave up a couple of runs in his last outing, steps off the mound. That was at North Carolina. A 7-4 game where those teams combined to strand 29 runners in a 9-inning game. Carolina held on for a 7-4 win. Matchup of top 75 RPI teams. Ooh, tried it. It stayed up with the breaking ball.
I think he was trying to maybe bury that curveball there, but it looked like it slipped out of his hands and stayed up in the zone. As a batter, that's one, you know, that you kind of want, but also if the umpire's going to call the ball up, then take.
That's called ball 3 as it bounces in.
Expect O'Brien to attack him here with a fastball and a full count with the lead.
And he gets the fastball at 94. Second punch out for O'Brien.
With a 9-run lead, he's able to just throw that fastball as much as he wants. Not necessarily struggling to throw the breaking ball, but we saw it slip on that first pitch. But he should be okay to go the remainder of this game with just fastball.
They'll challenge him to hit it and see what happens scenario.
Let your defense work.
It's like the manager in Major League. Give him the old hater, Ricky. The Eliminator. Or is it the Terminator?
The Eliminator.
Oh, it was the Eliminator, yeah.
Eliminator.
Coach sitting in his hospital bed listening to the game on the radio while playing the soapbox TV shows. There's 94, dotted for strike 2. Michael Dolberry, an 0 for 2 night. Twos are wild. 0-2 count. Trying to avoid a second out. O'Brien brings the 0-2. Well, it comes out 94, pretty smooth for O'Brien.
Yeah, not a ton of arm action. It looks like he's using his lower body and his legs very good to try to get that extra velo on that fastball.
This is poked to short. Here comes Nedo, barehanded. Oh, he almost had it. Pearson pulled his foot, and what a play by Nedo.
Great job attacking that slow roller. He saw it hit early in the fake dirt there. As he attacks it, obviously the only chance there with 2 running down the line is a bare hand play, and looks like he just pulled his foot.
Yeah, he did.
Would have been a bang-bang play there, but great job.
He definitely pulled his foot, but that was close.
Like Coach Oxide said, he's been very stern on the Longwood players to have good 90s down to first base, and Dolberry did a great job there hustling out of the box.
Pounds and a strike. Campbell Bryant's not messing around tonight. He gives up the infield single. Attacks the zone with straight cheddar. I'm not seeing the breaking ball a lot tonight for O'Brien.
There's appeared to be a slider cutter that had high 80s but didn't cut too much, left it up a little bit. See if Cam O'Brien can do what Thomas Harrington did with that double play here.
Remember Harrington in the 6 scoreless innings. He only walked 1 and hit a batter, and that was it. 3 hits allowed in 6 quality innings.
And I think you said that was only his 5th hit by pitch of the season.
And what now adds up to, let's see, 65 innings. So here's the 2-1. And dots it up a bit outside.
Good spot to be, obviously. Rather that be a strike, but good spot there. Working the count on about a ball out there.
Don't squeeze him, Blue. Don't squeeze him.
Let's try it again on 3-1. Good pitch.
Goes back to the same spot there. Great pitch on the fastball. Looks like Harris didn't agree there.
Here's the payoff pitch. Runner holds. This is lined to deep center. Halstead tracks it down.
Harrison, great job there on a hard hit ball and a fastball out to dead center. It looks like Halstead off the bat Thought it was going to hang up a little bit, but it just kept cruising back. And he's able to track it down on a little small leaping catch.
It's a heck of an effort to track that ball down. So here's Michael Peterson with 2 outs. By the way, Drake Pearson is now guaranteed an at-bat in the bottom of the 8th in pursuit of the cycle. He would need a home run to do it. If you're Pearson and you hit with what could be a cycle, I imagine all the fundamentals go aside and you swing for a home run the first 2 pitches?
I want to say yes. 9-0 game, one-sided game throughout it, but still got to stay within yourself. A lot of times when guys try to hit home runs, they'll get kind of outside themselves, swing up balls not there. If he can still stick to that plan and get a ball in the inner third, I don't see him having a problem sending one. Look for Cam here with 2-0 count, try to get the fastball back in the zone after that wild pitch to get Dolberry to second.
3 strikeouts, an inning and 2/3 for O'Brien. Now he gives up a base hit. Peterson deposits a single, and the Lancers score their first run of the night on a 2-out base hit.
And this is where that run rule comes into play. You know, if they do score the 10th run and the game's over, that's it. But he did a great job staying on this fastball on a 2-0 count, driving it out to left field and get that run to come around from second base. But here we see it late in the ball game. Clearly the game's most likely over, but this is just momentum for Longwood going into game 2 tomorrow.
A Lancer team that dropped 2 of 3 to Presbyterian. They started the year at 7-2 in the conference, which is their best start ever in the Big South. Rejoined the league in 2012. And this ground ball goes to Nedo. There's your out. O'Brien thought better of it with the bare hand, and Nedo cleans it up. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th. Drake Pearson's in pursuit of the cycle when we come back.
Woo! Papa John's just took their fresh, never frozen dough and hand stretched it into thin, oversized New York-style slices. I mean, look at that crust. That is the perfect crust thickness no matter how you eat it. So you can fold it or not. But I ain't gonna lie though, I fold it. Get a New York-style pizza from Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza.
We are not merely an institution of higher education. We are transforming lives and empowering students to become leaders.
Leaders in our communities,
in our state, and throughout the world.
Leaders in innovation.
Leaders in service to our neighbors.
Join our movement. Join our community. Join our mission. Lead with purpose. Lead with Campbell.
In sports,
we are used to an even playing field.
Unfortunately,
off the field,
court,
track,
coast,
not all people are treated fairly.
In the Big South Conference,
we commit to using our voices to oppose injustices and inequalities.
Join us as we champion change
towards ensuring even playing fields
in and out of sports.
The Big South Conference.
We're allies.
We're advocates.
Where winners are made.
So how about this offense from Campbell tonight? 9 runs, 13 hits, and following Harrington and crew to a nice performance on the mound.
It's always good when your pitcher goes out and have an efficient inning so you can get back in the dugout and get that offense continue its momentum.
Last swings for the Campbells tonight as Drew Winters hits in a pitch hit roll. Which begs the question if you're Justin Hare. You have to let Pearson hit third, correct?
I would think so. I know there's a lot going on, and I know head coach Justin Hare is staying locked into the game, but assuming he has the idea, I think he should give him the go-ahead to try to complete the cycle.
So Drew Winters, who's hit 3 home runs, all in conference play for the Jacksonville, Florida product out of the 805. Duval County, you're from Jacksonville. You can represent.
904.
Oh, it's 904.
904,
that's right.
man.
Oh,
You threw me off with the area code.
There's strike 2.
He has it in his blood. 1-2 count here. Still looking to get a ball elevated. He can drive even with a
Winters'
9-1 lead.
first career hit was a home run at Gardner-Webb. He was a pitch hitter in a situation he had to come in late in the game. And boy, did he provide. Noah Eaker, 3rd full inning of relief, 1.2 total. Okay, we ready? Here we go. Here's Eaker on 2-2. And Winters lines it to 3rd on a hop. Wilkinson's there. Good pick over at first.
Yeah, great play there by Wilkinson, being able to handle and stay on that ball on a hard hit ball, short hop, deliver a throw over to Gillum at first to pick it.
Some more pitch hitters. Zach Williams, the Bakersfield, California product, checks in. Oh, okay, good. There's Pearson. So he's going to get a chance to hit.
Wait. Give him the nod.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's grabbing the bat.
He's just playing with us.
Okay.
He's playing with us.
I was going to say, is he going to stay in? Is he going to come out?
I think everybody's mic'd up and they hear us.
Great camera work by our first base cam, by the way. Been on it tonight. That kid is going to try to just get all over the crowd, Mike.
Little man's back down there.
You know how puppies can like smell where the food is and they travel around the house? Those kids have the same scent. They just know where the crowd mics are.
And here's just another power bat that the Campbells have on their bench, and Zach Williams.
Williams has had a bugaboo of injuries. A hamstring has affected him. First game since April 1st for Williams. Start of the year, 4 for 20 at the plate. Yeah, pops this out of play. When he's been healthy, 2 big home runs and 4 doubles, so clearly has power. It's just about staying in the lineup. There's Eaker on 1-2. And he makes quick work of Zach Williams. So that sets the stage for the man a home run away from the cycle in Drake Pearson.
And here's what we're waiting for. Obviously staying hot in the box tonight, seeing it really well, see if he can finish the cycle as he goes backside for a double there, just shy of a home run. And then later up comes up with a clutch 2 RBI double.
Yeah, the triple, then he had the double, and here's the single. So this sets the stage for Drake Pearson. Home run away from the cycle. Oh, you got to swing at that pitch. Down the middle for strike 1.
He showed in his first at bat the power to right field, so he has the power to all fields here, so to see that fastball away.
Is he just egging on the pitcher at this point? Daring Eaker to throw it over the middle?
I think he's got that one spot he's waiting on to try to get a hold of it.
See the second baseman shifted way over at Harris here. Pearson does have some power, 9 home runs. And the Campbell bats have provided 9 extra base hits tonight.
Pearson being very, very picky up there at the plate, trying to get that one spot.
Well, going off a triple, a double, and a single in 3 straight at-bats. Justin Hare leaving in his first baseman to hit. Eaker tries it on 2-1. 3-1 count, a home run from the cycle. That man's veins must be popping right now.
I'm sure he's aware of where he's at so far this game, but I wonder if he is thinking about as much as we are up here.
There's Pearson on 3-1. Ball 4. He knew it. He put the bat down with disappointment as he earns the walk. So no cycle tonight for Pearson. But he does reach base for the 4th time.
All quality at bats, can't be mad at that.
That pitch was so high, too, you can't purposefully check swing at it or something.
And I think Pearson was also thinking for his fellow teammate, Grant Knipp, getting his first bat of the game.
Teamwork makes the dream work, as they say. So Grant Knipp, who had a concussion at the end of March, has worked his way back, returned on April 15th, so last weekend. He went 2 for 4 with 3 RBI against NCA&T. And unfortunately, the concussion happened on a bang-bang play at first. He was reaching for a ball. He had that collision at the last second. He's had a couple of those this year. That's never an easy thing to overcome.
Most certainly, just glad to have him back out here in the lineup with the guys. Have had his fair share of collisions at first base so far.
So here's the 0-1. That's bodied up by now Kowalski behind the plate. It's that relentless approach to this Campbell offense. 9 runs, 13 hits. They have pestered the ball over the park. Boy, this at-bat has Game 7 of the World Series type feel. Very slow and deliberate here between Knipp and Eaker.
And a 2-1 count. You think it's full count, game on the line.
It kind of feels like it, right? I mean, it has that bottom of the 9th one-run game type of feel, which I guess if as a pitcher you want to work at your rhythm and your pace. Runner takes off. And the throw gets away. And that's where you put yourself in a tight spot if you're Eaker. So precise, so delayed, so deliberate that the second you go to the plate, you just give up 90 feet.
Yeah, it's tough. You go pick off move there, and then throughout the bat, he's been sitting his legs, kind of going on a long hold. So great job by Pearson, kind of realizing he's on a hold for a minute and just trying to get the best jump possible, which he got a very good jump there.
If I had a nickel for every time someone touched the crowd mic, I'd be a lot richer.
The crowd mic is a hot commodity. We have another one coming by there.
I could have afforded my pretzel I bought tonight. $3 cinnamon pretzel with icing on top. Ooh,
did smell delicious.
Worth it every time. The 3-1. There's a walk to Grant Knipp, so the inning continues. Back-to-back walks.
Number 8, Waldy Arias.
Christian, let's talk about the Big South standings, because Campbell with a win tonight will separate itself at 12-1. Upstate and Longwood now with 5 losses. It's going to become really difficult to catch Campbell.
Still with 3 or 4 weeks left in the Big South, you know, you could say anything can happen, but it looks like Campbell definitely has secured that one spot with Upstate right behind him.
And the top 6 teams qualify, so you just have to be in the top 6. Of course, the top 2 get a bye, and that's where it really pays off.
Yeah, that bye definitely saves some arms, extra days rest. But it should be interesting how it finishes out with how the schedule is laid out for those middle of the standings teams.
Winthrop has lost tonight, so they dropped to 7-6. And don't sleep on Presbyterian. Another win. They're back to 500. Oop. There was like 5 kids looking for that foul ball, and no one caught it.
hot commodity. Foul ball off the bat of Waldy Aris.
Just looking around the Big South right now. Upstate dominates A&T 12-3. And this pop-up should end the inning. Drifting back, Gillum. Nope, the inning continues. That's a really tough play for a first baseman.
That is, especially on those, that's one that you got to just kind of turn and burn and get there. You can't afford to backpedal. It'll kind of mix you up. So he started backpedaling, kind of drifting, thought he was there, and with the backspin off the ball from Waldy, just beyond his outstretched glove.
That's usually a second baseman's ball, but with the shift, there was really no chance.
Yeah, only option there is a first baseman or right fielder, but clearly not deep enough for the right fielder as he starts drifting here.
But he sort of went up to catch it, too, which is kind of odd. Like he thought he had it read.
Yeah, ball's just backspun really well off the bat of Waldy.
So let's try it again on 0-2. Wow. And I'm non-biased watching this, but that could have been strike 3.
Yeah, if you were watching from here in the booth, every single Longwood player took 1 or 2 steps towards the dugout.
So instead, it's 1-2. It's the patience of a fourth-year senior who then goes down to the next pitch. So we go to the 9th inning. Campbell is 3 outs away from earning a Game 1 win. We'll find out after this.
And a new pitcher for the Camels, and number 4, Jordan Irizarry, coming on the pitch for the 9th.
Well, a 9-1 game. We have some fun, festive music. Jordan Irizarry in to pitch, the true freshman from Princess Anne, Virginia. And Christian, a nice way to close out a dominant Game 1 for Campbell.
Yeah, 9-1 game, kind of got a little slow there towards the end, but with this kind of walkout music, I think it gets a little bit of rhythm going in the crowd and on the field.
Well, I have no dance moves whatsoever, but I'm feeling it tonight.
No, those look good. Those will play.
I appreciate a good warm-up song. Now, this is the part that bothers me about college baseball. You get 8 pitches to warm up, right? But relievers get unlimited amount of pitches, correct? Or that's for injuries, isn't it?
Injuries, okay. Unlimited amount.
It feels like that was 15 pitches. So now Jordan's like, where's the rosin bag? Okay, there it is.
I think he was pointing for his card for the pitch calling, but
he hasn't pitched since March 26, so I can see where the pressure comes a month later.
I think he might have forgotten his card as he's they might just go the original signs.
Oh, there we go. Wait. No, so someone else is going to
get there it is.
I got the wrong card, Coach.
Oh, he's feeling it, though. He's got the rhythm going. He's not worried about the card. He's worried about the rhythm here.
Again, we could just let the pitchers and catchers call the pitches, and we'd be fine.
Give him the old 1 and the old 2.
Yeah, the old in and out. Jack Schnell hits the lead off the top of the ninth. Much ado about nothing. So if you're Tyler Robinson, do you throw like the trickiest signs you have just to mess with the kid's head?
9-1 game. Obviously, he hasn't got an appearance here in a little while, so I think he's going to give him the direct signs. But after that card exchange, I think so.
Oh my gosh. I know it's been a month since Jordan's pitched, but you just got to get on the mound, get the sign. I know there's a lot of nerves, but just go.
Yeah, especially after a first pitch strike, and there you go. You can see the mix up there.
So he crosses. So clearly, the catcher and pitcher aren't getting the signs the same way.
I'm assuming they all got the same cards, unless he gave them the wrong card, because there is a few different cards for changing out, just in case you feel like somebody has your pitches, which would be very hard. But
there's the 1-1 to Schnell. And it's right on the corner. This is the part of college baseball. It's a little frustrating at times.
Yeah, I never got to play with the whole wristbands. It was all regular signs from the batter's box to their base coach to the pitching coach. It was all catcher giving the signs.
There's a line drive to left. Drew Winters cuts it all. Oh, he hangs on. Not the prettiest route, but he gets the job done for Drew Winters.
A good swing on it there. Got a little inside of it, so it was going to off a lefty bat to be tailing towards the left fielder, and almost.
This is an adventure here for Winters. He takes one route,
almost appears to overrun it here, and then
hits the brakes and makes the catch. Well, it's not always perfect, but gets the job done. Now, this is the experience that players need. I don't want to diminish. Every player needs a chance to check in and get the job done.
I think he was just so focused on his warm-up and pre-pitch routine that he just forgot his card, which Belvin did a great job of supplying that for him.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
He's back quickly into a 0-2 count.
Greg Ryan had a 5-game hit streak coming in. He's 0 for 3 tonight. And the 0-2. So, okay, a pitcher hasn't thrown in the month. You can tell he's clearly thinking about a lot. Puts a little too much grip into that breaking ball.
Yeah, which isn't a bad thing there. It looked like he might have went changeup or some sort of off speed, but I mean, not the worst place to have it. He could have missed middle there and maybe gave up a base hit or even a home run.
How about that breaking ball? So Irizarry, after spiking one, gets a strikeout. And that's got to be so frustrating as a hitter, because you see a pitcher spike his changeup, doesn't have it. Next pitch puts in a perfect spot.
Yeah, next pitch goes curveball on the outside corner, and you get a swing and miss.
That's what makes hitting so difficult. It's not always that the pitcher's good, but sometimes they're effectively wild enough it keeps you off balance. 1 out away from the fireworks. I don't know if Grant Knipp and Jordan Irizarry have thrown a lot of bullpens together. Not that it's a bad thing. You can tell the chemistry is not there.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to just grab that by his glove and just missed off the end. Not getting lazy, but just not, trying to secure the ball there.
And Jordan entered the year as a top 10 prospect in the Big South, highly regarded at a high school. Knipp, of course, big power bat from Alabama. So these are two talented players, but it's not always easy to throw talent on the field and it works. Right. It doesn't just happen right away.
Especially with the new system and the wristbands and a lot of other things going on, especially here after a 9-1 game, waiting all game here in the top of the ninth. Looking for his final out.
And again, remind you, the fireworks are coming up next. So this crowd is not going to leave. They just want it to happen already.
They're very eager. Everybody's still here in attendance.
3-0. There's a walk. So Dylan Wilkinson reaches base for the first time. Now feast your eyes on some of the best facial hair in college baseball, because Draven Kowalski, he packs a punch when it comes to that beard. Like Bear Grylls does not stand close to Draven Kowalski.
Definitely has his own grooming kit. You know, got the clippers and the beard brush and everything to.
And that beard
look
gel
that
you can purchase now to smooth the hair out. It's such a unique look, as that's fouled off. Because Chad Oxendine, he's a clean-shaven head coach. And then, okay, turn around for me, Draven. Look at that thing. My gosh.
I mean, that's a NIL deal waiting to happen there. With
Get some
beard
Suavecito, sign him up. Get some pomade, you name it. That beard, he could grow some legs. I know COVID opened up people to the advantages of a nice facial hair. As Irizarry spikes a breaking ball. That was his changeup. So here's the 1-1. Irizarry, who just lost his hat, is one strike away from ending the game.
Yeah, it looks like he put a little extra oomph on that fastball there and lost the hat.
It's a learning curve for a true freshman who hasn't pitched since March 26, so nearly a full month. And now he tries to secure Campbell's 13th win in 14 games. That is quite a stretch. So after Harrington goes 6, O'Brien 2, Irizarry gives up a free base. You can tell he's figuring some things out on the mound tonight.
Yeah, it looks more like trying to get a productive kind of a feel inning. Not having an appearance in a little while. I did a great job on the first 2 batters and then went to 4 straight balls to walk the 3rd batter. But it looks like he's got a 2-2 count here. 2's on the board, 2-2, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Set the stage for Irizarry. This line drive could be trouble. Halstead charging, and he can't get there. RBI base hit, scores Wilkinson. It's 9-2. How about Longwood showing some life in the 9th inning?
Yeah, just get a walk, stolen base, or excuse me, walk, and then dirt ball read, and looks like he just got it off the cap of the bat, shallow enough to just drop right in front of the left center fielder there for.
And that's a hard ball for Halstead, right? I feel like that's more either winners or bust. Like, I don't know if a center fielder can make that catch.
Yeah, that'd be a diving catch there, regardless of who's out there.
So here's Eric Chorba. Watch his strike 1. Presbyterian has defeated Winthrop tonight, so the difference between the 4th spot, which is Asheville at 7-6, and the 8th spot is 1 game. So to get in the top 6, it is going to be a race to the finish.
It's going to be a lot of battling there at the last 2 or 3 weeks of conference for all those teams.
There's strike 2. We're down to the final 5 weeks of the regular season. A lot of teams have semester finals, so most clubs play just 4 conference series left, which makes these next month oh so important. So Irizarry's ready to rock and roll. Here's the 0-2. And he misses. Tomorrow's game, 3 o'clock, Cade Box-Rucker against the true freshman, Kevin Warnick. And then Andrew Melnick, the senior, on Sunday against Aaron Rund. And another foul ball for Chorba. In a game that started with good pace and good rhythm, it's dragged into a 3-hour and 13-minute game. You know, the average minor league game in the first 2 weeks is 2 hours and 36 minutes with the new pace of play rules. It has sped up tremendously by 20 minutes.
That's pretty efficient.
Irizarry tries to end the ball game, and he sails it. The 2-2 is swung on and missed, and Irizarry completes a Friday night win, 9-2, as the Camels improve to 12-1 in conference play. Christian, what a dominant start. Harrington gets things rolling, and the Camels follow suit with a 9-2 win.
Harrington did a great job coming out and setting the pace of this game after a 20-pitch first inning. He did a great job keeping the hitters on their toes, and then obviously Campbell's offense just exploding with some extra base hits. Phenomenal job there for Friday night win.
So Harrington with 7 strikeouts. Good Longwood defense early, but no stopping the Camels at the plate. 9 runs to take game one for Christian Jones and Evan Budrovich saying good night from Jim Perry Stadium. The Camels earn a 9-2 win as they take game 1 of the series. We'll see you tomorrow on ESPN+.